Hello, I am your brother in Christ, and we are here to investigate this rather interesting video by Ali Dawah. I am joined by my wonderful wife, Eliso Elohim, David S., and Thaddeus.
Oh, I didn't know you had 3 wives.
No, not going to claim that at all. Or touch that with a long stick.
What?
He still has space for one more. He has space for one.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the chat is already happening. Man alive, you guys are good on time.
Thank you guys all for being here.
So we are going to look at this video, see if Ali Dawah does actually even lie to the cops, or at least some of his team, and what the repercussions really should be, as well as if they actually violate UK law in this video. So this is their recent video about Muslim tracks IDF
Kicks
soldier in London and kicks off. I don't know what "and kicks off" means, but okay. So that's the video. We have that here. Here we go, and we'll go through this. We'll stop multiple times, just have conversation on the topics he's bringing up, see if he's being truthful with his reasoning, and maybe fact-checking a couple of things. So before we begin, is there anything you guys want to add?
Nope, just excited to be here and check out this video.
Yeah, this is great. I'm always excited because I get to learn so much from Ali Dawah, and every time he speaks, I feel like I'm just flooded, inundated, really, poured forth such a great well of wisdom and knowledge that pierces the higher frequencies of sound from his voice. And so I'm really excited to see just how much wisdom he pours out as per usual.
That's what I'm looking forward to. So let's see.
Yeah, try ringing the bell.
Yeah, I think we should speak to these individuals. 1 second. Who are these 3 people? Hello, guys. Just looking for an alleged war criminal. I don't know if you guys know this bastard. Yeah, he's a.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, who's this bastard?
I don't think he's a bastard.
Yeah, he's a bastard. He's a bastard. Yeah, and you.
1948. We want to ask the following questions. Did the Boys Clubhouse carry out the relevant due diligence and speaker risk assessment?
So I'm going to ask a question real quick here. Are these 2 guys together? Simple yes or no from our panel. Are these 2 here together?
Oh, of course.
Yep.
They got the microphones
I was
on.
say it would appear to be.
Yeah, they got the microphones on. They're literally together in the same video talking together. They're both mic'd up. They're both yelling at random Jews on the sidewalk. Yeah, I think they're together.
Okay. I just want to confirm a couple of things before we continue.
To see if this person, Levi Simons, was an appropriate and safe person to address a group of disillusioned young Jewish boys. Do you appreciate why we're asking these questions?
Refreshing. Probably an ad.
Oh, you didn't play the pre-clipped version or the pre-recorded, whatever?
I did not do the downloaded. I did the actual because I don't want to be claimed that there is an issue there.
Well, of course,
hiding something.
It might be the case that his amazing advertisement about enhancers for women, that might be what's loading. So we know how much Ali Dawah loves to really speak about the intimate moments of young Muslims. And so I'm sure that's all that we're going to have to wait through. That's okay. That's okay. I'm sure Ali Dawah would never, ever have any issue with anybody talking about the sexual actions of Muslims. I'm sure he would never have an issue with that.
Well, let's find out.
Boys, do you appreciate why we're asking these questions?
Don't touch me. Don't try to budge me.
Do you appreciate
I know
why
what
we're
you're
asking
doing.
these
Don't try
questions?
budging me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
appreciate
Zionist.
why we're asking
You
these questions?
Zionist.
I'm a
That's what
member
you
of the
are.
Free
Yes,
Press.
you woke war criminals. Yeah, this is not Israel, bruv.
Skip his advertisement because I don't advertise his products.
Well, why not? I mean, he is both a Muslim apologist and an expert on herbal supplements. What is there not to like about this combination? They go naturally hand in hand, I'm sure. Every Muslim who has studied the Quran, studied the Hadith, studied the religion and the Sharia No, about herbal supplements.
You were exposing too much
apologize.
truth. You got removed.
You got removed.
Yes.
Oh no, how terrible.
Yes. You're right, though. I mean, how else would they come to believe it?
So let's see what he actually
It's
has to
part of
claim
that.
here.
Scientific miracles of the religion of Islam. It has not been debunked because Ali Dawah, even though he thinks it's been debunked, is living proof because he is an expert on science by studying the Quran.
I do admit that's one of the treasures we got last year was Ali Dawah's admission that the scientific miracles are debunked. He actually agrees with Christians on that. I sometimes wonder if he realizes what side he's on, but we'll go with it.
For a tweet shared by Brother Dilly Hussain for another brother. And I woke up to see that, and I realized that a war criminal, or should we say an alleged war criminal, who has a dual nationality, has come back from Israel serving the IDF.
Is everybody else's audio significantly
Yes,
worse
this
now?
audio's crap.
I know, but it got worse, right?
Yeah, it's not the best. Also, is he really citing Dilly Hussain on Twitter? That's
Yes,
wild.
he is. That's
of
his
all
source.
people.
Well, because he's in this video.
That's who joins Ali Dawah in this video.
Oh, that is Dilly.
Yep.
You see, this whole time I've been like seeing his Twitter feed blow up, puns intended, because he keeps on making all of these horrible, horrible comments and never actually giving any proper citations. So that's wild to see the Dilly Hussain guy in the flesh. That's wild.
Yes, it took me quite a while to track down the original videos that these are coming from, so we will have some of those later on. But let's go ahead and hit this some more, unless you have anything else to add. Okay.
Carrying genocide and apartheid. We've come to the building where we think where the event happened, or I'm assuming this is where the charity is registered, who's invited this walkman. Now, I want to go to Brother Dilly Hussain. Brother Dilly, you're here.
Ali, sorry. Okay, what's going on?
What brings you here in the morning?
So there's an individual called Levi Simons. He's a British Israeli dual national. Just got back from Gaza, fighting for the IDF. Today he is delivering a talk as a special guest to disillusioned young Jewish boys.
Why do you say disillusioned? Why? Why did you get that from?
Because this charity, the Boys Clubhouse, which falls under the umbrella of Achiendo, a UK registered charity, claims to be helping Jewish boys who have issues with drugs, vice abuse, all these kind of things. He's addressing these group of boys today.
Okay, just clarification. He's making these. Okay, it just claims to happen to be doing this thing. He's making these very vague statements whenever it comes to any action that this charity is doing. But later on in the video, we'll see the opposite for himself. Specifically, one situation that they take as absolute fact, even though it's very clearly shown as speculation on their behalf.
And the most alarming thing is the following. Levi Simons posted 2 videos on social media which went busy while he was in his genocidal war in Gaza. Video number 1 was that he was rummaging through a Palestinian woman's private nightwear after her house was evacuated.
She might be dead.
This sister could be dead. But specifically, when he was rummaging through it, he put it up on his Instagram as a question. And he said, is this kinky, weird, or haram? That means he specifically made a reference to the sister's religious identity. He said jalabiya. He said jilbab. So this is the individual that's going to be addressing young boys. The second video, he filmed
So
him.
we're going to stop there because with his claims here, we need to check to make sure that his claims are correct. Now, they released another video on their official...
On Dilly's.
Yeah,
Correct.
the 5 Pillars, actually. 5 Pillars released a video that he's associated with, and they added this section in the video there. So this is the underwear scene, according to them.
His genocidal war in Gaza. Video number 1 was that he was rummaging through a Palestinian woman's private nightwear after her house was evacuated. This sister could be dead. But specifically, when he was rummaging through it, he put it up on his Instagram as a question. And he said, is this kinky, weird, or haram? That means he specifically made a reference to the sister's religious identity.
So there you go. So, okay. So that's what their claim is, that he was just rummaging through this random house that was evacuated and trying to find anything in it. Uncertain, maybe because he just wants to make this kinky video and then ask questions. At least that's what the impression is I get off of that. Do you guys agree? What are you guys coming from on that? If that's all you heard about this video.
Yeah, well, so just seeing the footage there, obviously I don't know anything about what he posted on Instagram, but seeing the footage seems to be that he's very quickly going through it, like he's looking for some sort of weapon or contraband or something along those lines. Seems to be part of official duty. Doesn't seem to be him playing with a woman's underwear for the heck of it. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, it does look like he really is rummaging as quickly as he can through it, right? And also, we don't actually know if this is just one person's place, right? Again, we do know that in Gaza there are brothels that various leaders in Hamas and in the military that they'll frequent, and so we're not really sure what kind of location this is. This is one of those locations, right? But again, he is just quickly going through it, and since they use very specific language saying drawing focus on the sexual nature of something while speaking of a religious identity is bad, I would like to remind everybody that Ali Dawah, in a lot of his advertisements, specifically speaks to the Muslim identity of women who use his orgasm intensifier medicines and pills. So he is doing the very same thing, I would argue more explicit actually than what's being done, and he's marketing it specifically to Muslimas. So let's be clear about this. He is doing something significantly worse than what he's stating the IDF soldier is doing. So just to make sure any Muslims in chat know, be angry at Ali Dawah before you're angry at some random guy.
It's funny that you bring that up because I'm actually working on a video that touches on that quite in detail coming up soon, because it's just crazy. The more you just dig into it, it's like, oh man.
Yep.
Like,
the consistency of Islam, or the lack thereof.
But something I noticed and I pointed out when we were watching this beforehand is it's weird because they keep making this reference like she could be dead. She could be dead. It's like, oh, I mean, I guess like anyone could be dead, right? Like, so I guess you could say that.
And as we go through the video, that will become more apparent. Again, I was wanting to point out early on that they use speculative wording whenever they're talking about the good that this charity is doing. And whenever it comes to their own speculations, even right here, well, she could be dead. Oh, she's dead. She's definitely dead. Later on, they talk as if it was an absolute that this woman was executed.
Yeah.
And it's like,
What?
wait, what? You trying to be a little consistent, please?
Yeah, but
they
even
said she was evacuated, right? That means not dead.
yeah, that her
That was the
husband is
first
evacuated, but
supposition.
she could be dead. It's like, okay. But something else, without even leaving this video, we see as far as the whole like sexual thing, like how dare this man like expose her private stuff on the internet. Dilly Hussain literally clipped this video, or whoever made the video for him and like his group, like they clipped the video, put it in their own, and they're showing it all the more.
Show it all the
to
more.
hundreds of thousands of people potentially, like maybe even
And to
more, maybe even
Muslims.
millions. Yeah.
To Muslims.
To Muslims, not just the infidels who are disgusting and want to watch that kind of thing, but to Muslims they're showing it.
So with his claims in mind, let's take a look at the actual video that was originally, to my knowledge, posted. I know it's kind of hard to track this down, actually, but let's take a look.
Going through these terrorist houses looking for guns and explosives like we found money. At every single house inside of Gaza, this is what I say, every single, unbelievable. 2 or 3 doors stuffed with the most exotic laundry that you can imagine. Just pile loads of it. Every single house. Stuffed to the brim, look at that. Unbelievable. Well, I don't even want to imagine what this stuff is, man. Oh, let me smoke. These naughty Gazans.
That's it. Does he say anything to her religious identity? I mean, the thing they're jumping on is it has haram in it, right? That's refers to her religious identity. Does it?
I don't think it does.
Well,
He didn't
apparently
say.
everybody's a Muslim. Everybody's born a Muslim, so technically Muslims could say, well, everything refers to Islam because everyone's born a Muslim. And so I could imagine Muslims being like, it's not just the word haram, but halal also. And also kinky. That's also a Muslim concept because everyone's born a Muslim.
Kinky terrorism.
Yeah, kinky terrorism.
Yeah, they left out terrorism, right? They left out terrorism. They said that he's calling this woman kinky.
Yep.
But actually, with the audio, what he's suggesting is that the male, presumably male terrorists are the ones with this clothing.
Yes.
Weird. And also,
So-
at the beginning, he explicitly says, as we're looking for weapons and explosives and all these different houses, like he says that at the beginning, right? That in the process of looking for weapons and explosives, it is strange that we find this all over the place, right? It might be that Ali Dawah doesn't want to consider the possibility that the men are the ones stockpiling this. And I don't know why he's not willing to consider that as a possibility. Right, like it's a realistic possibility, but he doesn't want to consider that.
Well, they're only following Muhammad after all because he did dress in little girls' underwear. So they do have that as an example. So that was definitely much different than what was originally portrayed by Ali Dawah and Five Pillars. So they were there for a reason. It was not because he was making some kinky video, because he was there trying to expose this woman's underwear. He didn't even say it was a woman necessarily, like you said. And again, it's not like he's saying that, well, all Muslims are like this, or even any reference to it other than haram.
And halal, which, by the way, have any of you guys also heard Muslims claim, oh, well, like, here's just one more connection to how it's the same religion essentially as Judaism and Christianity, because like you can find halal in in Judaism and
again, they're all born Muslim. You see, that's where they're called reverts. They're all born Muslim. This is the evidence. This is the proof. This is the proof.
This is the proof that Islam is correct. Oh boy.
Yes, because other religions sometimes have words that sometimes sound like things in Islam. That's the proof. Yes. It's amazing.
Okay, so let's go back to that. That was their first video they claimed. Again, they definitely misrepresented that. It was definitely not something that is found morally repulsive. All he did was say, hey, this is kind of weird. We keep finding this, and this seems to be a trend. So that seems to be a completely legitimate criticism of the terrorist houses that he is told to go and search for weapons and explosives.
Himself outside a decimated school, which he called a Hamas terrorist school. And he said the only language that's going to be taught in Gaza now, or Hebrew is going to be taught in Gaza now. That's a genocidal statement. So why is
So that's a genocidal statement. Only, he said that only Hebrew will be taught in that area now. Only.
You see, this is genocidal because we know that no other group of people can learn Hebrew except for Jewish people. So obviously this is genocidal because only Jews can speak Hebrew.
And
like, what kind of logic is this? This is just stupid. It's just stupid.
Well, again, Five Pillars posted this same video, but with the tweet video added on. But they did a little bit of a sneaky thing with it. Well, let's go ahead and examine their version again.
the second video? He filmed himself outside a decimated school.
Inside of Gaza, waving an Israeli flag in one of their schools where they teach terrorism, and we're going to start teaching Hebrew in this school soon.
So we're in their schools, so they teach terrorism, which we do know that that's a factor that they do have that they are teaching that in public schools. Okay, good point. And they're going to teach Hebrew in there now. So that was the genocidal statement, he said. So let me go ahead and pull up the original video because, again, I tracked down the original and I found that there was a bit of a discrepancy between the two. Almost as if
No, they would never. They would never lie. They would never edit. I can't believe that.
Oh,
Never.
we'll see.
Waving an Israeli flag in one of their schools where they teach terrorism, so we decided to teach something about Israel. We're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. We're not going to take your terror, and we're going to start teaching Hebrew in this school soon.
So we're going to start teaching Hebrew in the school soon. Okay, nothing about that was genocidal. What they cut out was his statement that they're not going to allow terrorism. That's not going to be a thing. And I hope we would all agree with that part of it, that we're not going to allow terrorism.
We, as in the panelists, pretty sure that's not the perspective of either of
Touche.
the men on the original video. Not the Israeli man that I'm referring to, but the
other
others.
two. So that's where
these schools are going to start teaching Spanish. It's a genocidal statement. They're going to start teaching Spanish.
How dare
Yeah, there's nothing about
language.
only Hebrew. There's nothing about only
that was
Hebrew.
the claim that was made, was only Hebrew. He said no. He said it's just going to be another class. They're going to have Hebrew. They're going to have all the others as well, as far as he's concerned, except for the whole terrorist thing. They're going to replace that with Hebrew. So, no, they're not going to be training to murder people anymore. They're going to be trained to speak another language.
Yeah,
they might be successful instead of blowing themselves up now.
And not only that, they're going to be taught the language of the country that they want to claim to be part of.
That's right.
As in, they're given the ability to integrate into Israeli society. Oh, yes.
How evil. How evil. The greatest means of genocide is by educating and giving people better academic outcomes.
And if you look at, that way for everyone watching, if you look at what his caption is when it's posted, or I'm not sure if this is the original post or if it's reposted, but it says uprooting terrorism starts with education. That is the point of this video. Is look, this school has been used for bad. We're not going to allow that bad to continue. Let's do something positive.
And this is the guy they're showing up there to stop talking to
disillusioned.
Disillusioned, possibly drug-infested youth. Hypothetically speaking, because they don't want to give any legitimacy to the ministry.
Well, you see, I mean, when you get down to it, that it will be tough for the schools because they're going to have to change their curriculums quite a bit. Because terrorism makes a big part of it, right? You don't have normal chemistry class, you have explosive chemistry. In gym, you have dodge bomb, all these things that are part of the curriculum. And so what you have to do is completely uproot the education, change their curriculum. You got to give them actual lessons on things that aren't, how well can you kill somebody, right? All those videos of the kids going to the summer camps and being like, oh, look at me, I'm shooting as many Jews as possible. It's tough to uproot and change their curriculum, so I mean, obviously these men, Ali Dawah and Dilly Hussain, they're just nervous because they know how much it takes to change a curriculum. That's really what's going on here, I think.
So, okay. So let's see what else they've reviewed. So those are the two accusations they made, and that's enough of a motivation for them to come down to this charity, stand outside it, and let's see how they interact with the individuals that are there.
Why is this individual addressing young boys?
Yeah, so let me just...
I was just going to say real quick, I assume these probably aren't the only two clips this soldier posted. So we can presume these are probably the worst two clips they could find. And they had to be deceptive about both of them.
Absolutely. They had to edit out sections and take his audio out because we allow him to actually speak in the first one. It's pretty obvious that why he's there and why he's making this video, not to shame some Muslim woman who might be dead, according to them, but to look for guns, for explosives. And he's kind of pointing out this might even be Muslim men who are doing this. And he doesn't even talk about their religion. This could be anyone else for that many. according to that video, it could have been an atheist for all we know.
But it was a terrorist. It's
was a
not
terrorist.
just like some random civilian that had fled. It's that he's there for a purpose. This is a terrorist place, and he's looking for guns. But he notices a trend. And that's
maybe
not a bad trend to like point out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's part of the terrorism. You know, maybe there's some sort of, you know, some sort of expressive terrorism, right? Maybe all those exotic cloths are important for a new type of terrorism, which is fashion terrorism.
Hashtag this is their jihad.
Or maybe,
this
maybe they got so angry and started to commit terrorism because they felt oppressed and they couldn't express their newfound female gender.
Yes,
because that is not allowed in their region.
That actually is a very good point, and I think it's important
here
for us to. Oh yeah.
Joshua Wooden said the same sicko Dilly that was on Pierce Morgan ?
I believe I do not know if he was or not.
Yeah, I did not watch.
Look at that.
I did not watch that if that was the case. I don't really keep up with the Pierce Morgans like shows only when they have people like Muhammad Hijab who just completely screws it up so badly that he's everywhere on the internet and you can't possibly avoid it.
Make a comedy show out of it.
Get this right. So this is a charity who's dealing with UK young Jewish boys who are maybe doing drugs or whatever for that matter. And it seems like a good charity in the sense where if you're helping Jewish young boys. But what I don't understand is why would you get these kids off drugs and get them to be war criminals or be inspired by a war criminal? This is what I'm finding a little bit odd. You want to come and help young Jewish boys, and a question that needs to be asked is, when it comes to prevent, we know Tox has gone to Syria to help as a charity, to do charity work, to aid the people who have been going through turmoil there. He lost their citizenship. He cannot come back here. If he was to come back here and do an event, a Muslim charity dinner, cancelled. This charity, what could the viewers do who are watching this on your channel, my channel, because this is outrageous.
What they can do is they can contact the Boys Clubhouse.
Yes.
They can contact the Charity Commission. The registered charity number is 113-1948. And we want to ask the following questions. Did the Boys Clubhouse carry out the relevant due diligence and speaker risk assessment to see if this person, Levi Simon, was an appropriate safe person to address a group of disillusioned young Jewish boys?
Speaker risk assessment. So they're having a soldier come and speak to young boys. Do you think that these guys would have a problem if a Muslim soldier came and spoke to Muslim boys? I don't think they would. So what is their problem exactly?
No, I even think a lot of these people wouldn't have an issue with a Hamas soldier. Like, I legitimately do not think that, because Ali Dawah calls them freedom fighters, right? So I don't think Ali Dawah would have an issue with a Hamas soldier speaking at a Muslim event, right? Since he doesn't consider them terrorists necessarily, but freedom fighters.
Well,
and so
actually,
again,
actually, I think that he was saying that they should be allowed. He's like, this is outrageous. Someone went and joined Hamas, and now they can't return to the UK and give speeches about it. That's basically what he said.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, basically, he just wants some sort of equality is what he wants. And this Dilly guy is taking it personally and saying, well, you know, it's not fair because we get shut down for far less, which, by the way, in the UK, Muslims do not get shut down like they're saying. Muslims actually have a free pass at a lot of stuff. A lot. Besides the grooming gangs that they had a lot of free passes for years. But Muslims have a lot of free passes for a ton compared to every other group. So this is just nonsense. It's just a lie. That's it.
Absolutely. So yeah, and I think that might play into a bit more later on in the video, if I'm correct.
Can we go back like 30 seconds though?
Sure. Is this 30 seconds solid or not?
Nah.
Cancelled. This charity, what could the viewers do who are watching this on your channel,
Oh,
my
sorry.
channel
Okay, it's before
because this is outrageous.
Slightly before this.
Hebrew is going to be taught in Gaza now. That's a genocidal statement. So why is this individual addressing young boys?
Yeah, so let me just get this right. So this is a charity who's dealing with young Jewish boys who are maybe doing drugs or whatever for that matter. And it seems like a good charity in the sense where if you're helping Jewish young boys.
Absolutely.
But what I don't understand is why would you get these kids of drugs and get them to be war criminals or be inspired by a war criminal? This is
Right here again.
Criminal. Wow.
They're a war criminal.
Wow.
Why would you have them inspired by a war criminal? Why would they're going to become war criminals? You're getting them off drugs just to make them into war criminals. This is a pretty bad accusation.
So I'm
Again,
not an expert on the Geneva Convention, but I don't think there's a passage in it that says if you rummage through someone's clothing, you're committing a war crime. And that is the accusation here, right? That this man rummaged through someone's clothing. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, some kind of power trip or joyride or whatever. Still not a war crime, right? And the actual video seems to suggest it was official duty. But even if it wasn't, even if he was being abusive and going into someone's house, that's not a war crime. That's like a minor misdemeanor.
Yeah. But it literally is part of the war in order to try to mitigate a lot of the war. Like, what? But yeah, so to make that claim, you're, and then thinking back to the parts that they clipped out of that clip where he's at the school and he's saying, we're not going to allow terror. Look, this has been used for terrorism, but we're not going to allow this terror. Like, war criminal, right? Right? He's totally a terrorist, right? No, that's not at all what we see at all when we look at any of the actual facts. And yet they're stating these things. And if they're not fact-checked, if nobody actually cares to pursue these things because, you know, all these Muslims look up to Ali Dawah or Dilly Hussain or, you know, even random passerbyers who've never really looked into Islam or anything. If you just watch this video and you have no context, I mean, I might be appalled. Like, this guy did what? He did what? And you're letting him speak to little kids, like, or even teens or young adults, or I don't know what the case is. I didn't look into this organization, but these people who are struggling with these problems and he's letting them talk to them. Like, I could see how if you're not actually looking into these things, this comes across very bad, but it's so inaccurate.
Nope. They're tar and feathering this poor guy.
And even worse, they say they have an issue with a war criminal, right? And their accusations for what accounts for a war criminal would be one who rummages through the items of other people, especially in a way that is for sexual desire, and taking over the schools or lands of other people. Oddly enough, Muhammad would count as a war criminal times 10 or times 100 by that standard. So if these guys were consistent with their idiotic, repugnant, hellbound standard, they'd recognize that what they're talking about is saying that people should not follow after bad examples. And I would say I agree. People should not follow Muhammad. People should not follow a war criminal. People should not follow after a genocidal, Jew-hating, Christian-hating, woman-abusing, child-raping war criminal. So, by that standard, I think Ali Dawah has made one of his few good points. People should not listen to war criminals. Therefore, people should not listen to the false prophet Muhammad. Very simple. Very simple. If Muslims in the comments have any rebuttal, please explain to us in any way that's meaningful or significant or informative or substantive, in any way whatsoever, how Muhammad is not a war criminal. And thank you.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear the war criminal
much.
rap. Nah, you're like 90% there. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's like, okay, well, one of the claims that I've heard Muslims bring up is, oh, Islam is so great because it gets you out of alcohol. You know, it's got this whole anti-alcoholism stance, you know, it's so great. But hey, all we got to do to respond to that is just play this Ali Dawah clip. You're going to get them off of these drugs and stuff and get them into, it's like, yeah, okay. As long as we're consistent.
That is
here.
so good. Good short idea. That's That's
But
good.
to his credit, he did say, which I guess is okay, as long as you don't teach him anything about Judaism in the process. I mean, gosh.
Oh boy.
That would be
So
bad.
Going back, let's see what else they have.
This is what I'm finding a little bit odd. You want to come and help young Jewish boys, and a question that needs to be asked is, when it comes to prevent, we know Tox has gone to Syria to help as a charity, to do charity work, to aid the people who have been going through turmoil there. He lost their citizenship. He cannot come back here. If he was to come back here and do an event, a Muslim charity dinner, cancelled. This charity, what could the viewers do who are watching this on your channel, my channel, because this is outrageous.
What they can do is they can contact the Boys Clubhouse.
Yes.
They can contact the Charity Commission. The registered charity number is 113-1948. And we want to ask the following questions. Did the Boys Clubhouse carry out the relevant due diligence and speaker risk assessment to see if this person, Levi Simons, was an appropriate and safe person to address a group of disillusioned young Jewish boys? Number 2.
And the answer to that would be yes, obviously, because you guys are completely misrepresenting the videos that he posted. And if you watch the originals, it's pretty clear that it's pretty low grade.
Yeah, pretty much in support of ending terrorism across the board. So,
yeah, well,
really
as
good.
we know, and let's figure out how we can make this logically consistent, right? Because what he said is we're not going to allow terrorism here. We're going to get rid of that. If Islam is inherently terroristic, then it could be a genocidal statement to say that we're getting rid of all terrorism, because that means we're getting rid of all Islam in the process. So to make Ali Dawah logically consistent, we have to say that Islam and terrorism are one and the same thing.
That's a good point. I mean, by the transitive property, you could say that Islam, which is true, right? Because it's made by demons. So you could say that it is intrinsically, essentially terroristic. After all, Muhammad was terrorized when the angel appeared to him in a cave and almost killed him. So you could say its origins are terroristic in that it's terrorizing, it's terrifying, and that its ends are terrorism. So that's, I respect your desire to help out Ali Dawah, and I will second you on that. I agree.
in fact, I would just add one more thing, not to belabor this too much, but as far as Islam being terroristic in nature, they love terrorism to the point where even those who do not fear Islam, and I would say even especially those who do not fear Islam, they need to be called Islamophobes because they must fear Islam. Everyone must fear Islam. And so if you're not going to cower in fear and bend your knee to every whim and demand that Islam may have, then you are an Islamophobe and will keep saying it until it's true. And if it isn't true, well, then off with your head so that everybody else will be an Islamophobe.
It seems like a bit of counterproductive. just a bit.
2, if they were aware, what are the justifications for allowing him and hosting him? If they weren't aware, why was there such huge negligence? Number 3, we want to ask them the charity.
Okay, number 2 is a complete bullcrap question because that makes the assumption that he is not right, that he's wrong to be speaking to these kids. That makes an assumption that is not proven. So that's a bad question.
Commission that when you pursue and witch hunt Muslim charities for doing far less, we want you to do what we're paying our taxes for and to investigate why someone who has posted videos of a decimated school with genocidal statements
Again, that school did not look decimated.
Well, if it
Seriously.
was, how are they gonna teach there right now? I mean, maybe it's like a far future thing. It could be.
Let's take a second here. I'm actually going to go back to the full video. I'm going to add that in.
Yeah, that's not this.
One of those schools where they teach terrorism. So
if you could pause it, he's not at the ground level. Yeah. Like you could tell that the ground is lower down. So he's like on some sort of balcony or something. If the building was destroyed, Why is he on some second floor balcony?
Also examining his video, it's clear that he is in shadow, which if there was no roof above him, he would not be in shadow. So no, this is not
Or
a
no building in front of
decimated.
him, yeah.
It's not decimated building. It's still standing. It's obviously still there.
He's putting a lot of weight and trust in that
Yeah,
edge
because
too.
if it's
If it's
decimated,
decimated,
he will be decimated pretty soon by how he's leaning, right? Because come on, this is not decimated. There's no indication. Even the buildings behind there, there's no indication that this is decimated at all.
Yeah, there's
And-
no sign of any damage done by bombs or guns or anything. It just appears to be an ordinary building.
So I'm going to continue here just to make sure that we do our due diligence here.
Teach something about Israel. We're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. We're not going to take your terror. And we're going to start teaching Hebrew in this school soon.
Again, not talking about decimated building. It'd be very hard to be soon teaching in this building if it was a decimated building. Definitely when there's a very clearly not a decimated building just behind him.
well, multiple buildings. I mean, to the left, to the right, every direction. There's other
Yeah, it looks
buildings.
almost like this is an untouched, unbombed area. So
And nothing he said is genocidal at all. It's anti-genocide. It's literally anti-genocide.
So if I looked at that, no, that's not decimated. That's not in any way, shape, or form what these guys are claiming.
And on the point, really quickly, of Dilly Hussain bringing up taxes, right? He tried to make it sound like, oh, our tax money is going to this, our tax money. The tax money that a lot of people paid, whatever nation they were a part of, was going to their government. Their governments were giving money to Hamas in Gaza for quite a couple of years now. And that money was going to schools that taught terrorism. So any claim that tax money is being used on these organizations to help people with drug addiction, I would say that's far better spent than money which people all across the world were giving to their governments through taxes, for that to be sent to UN schools, UNWRA schools in Gaza that taught terrorism to children. And so no, Dilly, no silly Billy Dilly, there's no way on earth that any of the money given to this group that's helping people with drug addiction is in any way, shape, or form a waste compared to the billions of dollars wasted on these awful UN schools that taught children terrorism. So I would love to hear his, if he could give a critique, his critique of the schools teaching terrorism, but instead he just gets upset that they're going to learn more languages. So that's his complaint.
Through potentially a dead woman's nightwear with religious rhetoric, why is a charity not being investigated and looked into?
Again, no religious rhetoric that was even stated in the video. The question had a word that Muslims commonly use, but that's it.
And a word they never use. At least I don't think they're going to claim kinky is a Islamic term.
Hey, you know,
They can claim terrorism as an Islamic word, though, for sure. So that's what he was talking about. Obviously, if there's terrorism involved, it's got to be talking about Islam, right? I mean,
again, the wording used here, rummaging through her clothing. Again, not a her ever stated. He was not there to rummage through her clothing. He was very clear on why he was there. And 3, again, you're assuming that she is dead, which again, no indication of at all. Potentially dead on zero evidence, just like Islam.
We want these answers. So as a Muslim charity, you've witch hunted Muslim charities for far less. We want questions answered. This is what you can do. So back to it. Boys Clubhouse charity number. I'll go back to it again just in case. 113.
And they're really just sicking their audience on this charity to bully it into following what they want based on, as we've shown, lies. Right? That's all they got.
And the accusation that Muslim charities are shut down for far less. I would be hard pressed to think of anything less than inviting someone to speak to a couple of children. Just saying. Like, I mean, if a Muslim charity brought in a known terrorist and had him speak to the children, I still doubt they would be shut down for that. And they're suggesting, based on their own deceptive editing and wild speculation, that this guy is equivalent to a terrorist, and thus the organization should be shut down for having him speak.
Yeah, guys, in the comments, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video. Let's get this out there. Let them know, hey, you guys cannot pull this garbage. You can't just bully, charities who are doing work, helping kids out. You can't just bully them to follow what you want based upon nothing but lies.
This video is currently reaching 50 people at one time live. I would love to see that number get up to 100 people. That means if each of you can even get one person to watch this, that'd be reaching the goal in no time.
And the sad part of this, and let me see if I can still share. So the amount of people that have seen this video, the amount of people that have seen what we have seen so far, 310,000 people, according to those numbers. And I don't know how well YouTube keeps those up to date, because I've seen some various changes, and that's just in the last 2 days, and have bought into this. At least a good portion of them would have bought into this rhetoric and not looked up the references, not actually looked up what the guy said, what the guy actually did. So this guy is going to have to deal with these false accusations coming at him from a large number. We need to get this out. We need to let him know, hey, this is garbage. And you guys shouldn't be pulling this crap.
And for 8, the Boys Club House is a trading name under Achiednu, which is a charity. These are questions we want to answer. They might think they can commit alleged war crimes for now, because we know there's an ongoing ICJ case. But if they come back here...
Okay, again, his statement is alleged war crimes at this point. Watch it evolve. Throughout this video, that statement is going to evolve.
Which it kind of...
He just claimed that there was a open case, an investigation. I think that the way he worded it, he didn't actually mean for this particular individual, but the audience was supposed to think that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thinking that they can live without having to answer questions for what they've done, they've got another thing coming. Our brothers and sisters in Palestine, I've got brothers and sisters here. They are resisting, and we're going to show solidarity with them there. Those things was happening to them when they're getting bombed and they can't answer any questions.
Did he say Philistine?
Yes, he did.
Okay, go ahead.
He's got no reference. We do have a super chat here. Thank you very much. Islam is not a race. You can't your race.
You can't.
Oh, I'm guessing. Okay. I actually think. Yeah. I was wondering if they were referencing that whole statement about.
Oh no, you can't.
Ex-Muslims don't exist.
No, that's just a figment of our imagination.
Exactly. Yeah.
AP definitely does not exist.
That's right. That's all you are. Born a Muslim.
He was never a Muslim.
That's how you get around it. He was never a Muslim to begin with, so therefore, but he was born a Muslim, right? I'm confused.
Well, yeah, because everybody's born a Muslim, right?
Yeah. But he was never.
So technically speaking, we're all ex-Muslims then, right?
Yes. But no one could leave Islam.
But
but we're still Muslim, because Muslim only means whoever submits to Allah. So of course that means that we're all still actually Muslim, because Muslim just means if you submit. So Christians are Muslim. Sometimes they bow down when they pray or something. I don't know. Hindus are Muslim. Jews are Muslim. So yeah. And he was never Muslim, but he was born a Muslim.
Okay, going back to the video here before we go down that rabbit trail.
It's winter. We will be the eyes and mouths and ears in this country.
Exactly. So let's just say Levi, Simon, whatever the hell it's called. As long as we both live in London, I'm going to find you intellectually, and I'm going to confront you intellectually. Just know.
What does that mean? I'm going to confront you intellectually. Is that just your brain being thrown at the guy? Because I'm a little confused. I think I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to be very clear that he's not saying that he's not being aggressive to the guy. He's not threatening the guy because you don't want to get that claimed against him.
But like, it's dumb because of all people, Ali Dawah cannot threaten anybody intellectually. So there's no threat. There's no intellectually because it's going on.
David S., you are breaking up.
There's nothing happening intellectually in Ali Dawah's mind. So how intellectual threat?
Well, let me come to Ali Dawah's defense, see, because he was very creative, found a way to take a perfectly innocent statement and edit it to look like something that wasn't. So he has, in fact, in a sense, used his intellect to challenge this organization.
Carol V says, confront us intellectually, coming to a gunfight with a knife, Ali Dawah.
Metaphorically speaking,
intellectually.
Obviously. Intellectually coming to an argument with a gun instead of a knife, or knife instead of a gun. Intellectually. Those are intellectual knives and guns.
Yeah.
Not literal.
I'm not sure who technically started saying this first, but this is definitely things that I've heard. One of the things that I've heard Muhammad Hijab say before too is confronts you intellectually. It's like one of his things. So
yes, he definitely got that from him, which is so funny coming from Hijab, who likes to, like flex his muscles and say, I'm confronting you intellectually. If you don't bow to my intellect, there will be consequences. I'm intellectually challenging you.
But he's more of a man. Joshua Wooden says, David Wood and AP showed Dilly on Piers Morgan laughing at October 7th and the sexual violence in Israel by Hamas and Gazans on that day, and Aqsa TV teaches kids to hate Jews. Yeah, that for anyone who is not familiar with Al Aqsa TV.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's the one with Ali Farfour. So.
Oh boy.
In London, I'm going to try my best to find you, and you think you're going to get away by going there. Like you said, it's alleged. Again, he's drawing the idea. No, the way he posted was thank you. So what he posted, he did. Let me tell you, you had fun there. You're here. Let me tell you something. Look at his face.
Did he just refer to that as being fun? Going through women's clothing?
Rewind a couple seconds.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he referred to as fun.
Like you said, it's alleged. Again, he's drawing the idea. No, the way he posted was thank you. So what he posted, he did. Let me tell you, you had fun there. You're here. Let me tell you something. Look at his face carefully.
I'm not quite sure what he's referring to as having fun there, actually.
Well,
I don't know if it's joining IDF or if it's, like just an expression for them, their speculation or what. I'm not quite sure what he's trying to get at, actually.
No. Let's find out if he goes into deep with that, but I doubt he does. I think it's just a throwaway accusation that he doesn't really think anyone's going to call him out.
Yeah, let's go back one more time, though, just a little bit further.
I'm going to try my best to find you, and you think you're going to get away by going there. Like you said, it's alleged. Again, he's drawing the idea. No, the way he posted was thank you. So what he posted.
Yeah, what he posted, but not the clipped version and not what they claimed he posted. I mean, yeah, there's facts and then there's fiction about facts, right? Because you can definitely have facts that are misconstrued to the point where they're no longer facts. So, no, what they're saying is not a fact.
Real quick, we should show Allah is a Zionist.
Well, I mean,
yeah, by his definition, he does put support for Israel and does at no point deny Israel.
Also,
so there's that part.
If Allah is truly part of the Abrahamic religions, then yeah, I mean, if he's the same God of the Bible, which he's clearly not, but if he's the same God of the Bible, then yeah, there's lots of support for Israel.
He did. Let me tell you, you had fun there. You're here. Let me tell you something. Look at this face carefully. Uqsum billah. I'm going to try to find you and intellectually question you. So
intellectually question you. I'm going to find you, but I'm not going to do anything but just intellectually question you because
it's actually quite humorous because what he's describing is stalking someone, basically, right? Like tracking you down, finding you, and then what I do after I've done all this aggressive stalking behavior, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Intellectually, which the reason, to be fair, I think the reason he has to say intellectually before questioning is because normally his questions are not intellectual. So we can at least pardon that one.
Well, that, and I think he knows for a fact the guy would just beat the crap out of him.
Yeah. Well, also, he might really mean intellectually, right? Because his version of intellectual is asking people their names, their address, what day it is, their favorite flavor of candy, right? The notion of intellectual with Ali Dawah is nothing more than reaching a certain frequency with his voice and talking about how proud he is. Like there's nothing about him that could be intellectual.
Is that how you know it's an intellectual statement? When he raises his normal high pitch to an extra high pitch, that's when he gets to the intellectual level?
Yeah, whatever the decibels are and whatever the hertz are, that's his IQ. And so the higher pitched it gets, the more intelligent he gets as it goes higher and higher. He actually has like a knob that regulates it.
We have to remember one thing.
We're proud of that, yeah?
That's it. That's what we got to remember. After all.
And we're proud of that, yeah? And we're proud of that, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not a message to anybody to do silly acts or whatever. I just want to come face to face with this coward who was going through a woman's nightwear or whatever for that matter, inshallah. It shows what kind of a scumbag you are. Now, can we just see why are they not answering? Have you tried to knock the door?
Yeah, we tried ringing the bell.
Yeah, I think we should speak to this.
So welcome, David. Have you seen this video yet?
No, I have no idea what you guys are dealing with. So give me the extremely short background that everyone who's watching is already familiar with.
The extremely short is Ali Dawah is being Ali Dawah.
Oh, okay, good enough, fair enough.
And that's about it.
So he's running around saying, "Hey, where's my daughter? She's 9 yet, so I can marry her off to Muhammad Hijab, and then you'll." Anyway.
So, do you want me to recap? So essentially, Ali Dawah and Dilly Hussain are here stalking this dude who just got back from Israel, who is helping people who have fallen into addictions.
Young boys who have fallen into addiction. Yep. And
trying to help free them of that. So he's speaking. He was planning on speaking this day to these at this group. 2 other Jewish people, and Ali Dawah and Dilly Hussain show up to stalk this dude and harass the group that is hosting the Israeli soldier, saying, "How dare you have this guy who just came back from the IDF? After all, look at these 2 little videos he made." And they claim that in one video, that this soldier was rummaging through a Muslima's, private wear. And how dare he do that? And he's even making a reference to her sexual identity, to her religious identity while showing her sexual stuff.
So
are you playing that?
Yeah,
short
we'll
clip?
re-show that one because this is what they claim that to be. Now, they highly edited it whenever they had it. They took his audio out of it, but they claim that this was just him rummaging through her nightwear.
Through these terrorist houses looking for guns and explosives like we found money at every single house inside of Gaza. This is what I say, every single, unbelievable. 2 or 3 doors stuffed with the most exotic laundry that you can imagine. Just loads of it. Every single house. Stuffed to the brim, look at that. Unbelievable. You know what? I don't even want to imagine what this stuff is, man. Oh, let me smell. These naughty Gazans.
Play the first second of that clip again.
So, okay.
So I'm going through these terrorist houses looking for guns.
So he's going through terrorist houses.
Looking for guns and explosives.
Yeah. It doesn't say any women are involved. In fact, he might actually have the conclusion. We were discussing this, but not this detail. He might even have this conclusion that there are no women involved if he is familiar with the case where Hamas executed one of their own commanders for being in a relationship that was not with a woman. That was just alleged. But, you know, he might be making some conclusions in that direction.
Wait. When you say not with a woman, do you mean man or...
Oh...
I was just thinking that.
Well, I don't think they'd execute
look
him.
Look at perverted mind David S. here.
But yeah, when they played this clip, which Ali Dawah didn't play this clip at all on his channel, but when Dilly Hussain in the 5 Pillars channel had this clip played, they edited it down so that there was none of that audio, so it just made it look like he was just rummaging through some random women's stuff. And so they really clipped that out of context.
They accuse that this woman might be dead.
Yeah, they kept saying,
keep saying the woman might be dead.
Like, she's potentially dead, and it's like, well, there was no woman mentioned at all. He was saying that this was a trend among these terrorists, that these terrorists had drawers and drawers and drawers of, you know, lingerie, like. But there's a woman who's potentially dead. Okay.
And then the second clip from him.
Yeah, it looked like he was doing kind of 2 things here. One, just like something along the lines of, hey, you got women walking around in burqas here, but let's check out what they're, you know, what's really going on. But also simultaneously, one of the biggest criticisms is you know, Gaza's this big open air prison, and it's just, they live like hell. It's just a horrible, horrible, sucky life all day long. It's just like being in prison and so on. And wait, I mean, yeah, I don't recall all the drawers like that in prison. So yeah, it seems like it was a response to that. Anyway, it's I don't know. I didn't see anything horrible.
So you went to the wrong prison, don't you see?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Waving an Israeli flag.
Sorry, we got the second clip from him. This was the other one that he posted. They claim that this is him standing in front of a destroyed school, a decimated school, saying genocidal statements.
Gaza, waving an Israeli flag in one of those schools where they teach terrorism. So we decided to teach something about Israel. We're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. We're not going to take your terror. And we're going to start teaching Hebrew in this school soon.
So the teaching Hebrew in the school is a genocidal statement, according to them. And that's where they claim he's being genocidal, I guess.
Wait. So this is according to Ali Dawah and Dilly Hussain, who, you know, Islam's going to dominate the world and we're all going to have to learn Arabic and we're all going to be subjugated. And Ali Dawah, you know, people, you know, like apostate prophet and critics of Islam, we're all going to be executed. These are the guys complaining about waving a flag here.
Oh, no, they don't even care about the flag. They're complaining because he said that they're going to learn Hebrew.
Yep. They're going to learn Hebrew.
Genocidal.
That's genocidal.
But they did misquote.
That's genocidal because everyone got to learn Arabic, yeah? And if you say in Hebrew, then you saying that you was going to kill all the Arabs, right?
Well, they tried to make it seem like that, and they said that they're only going to learn Hebrew, and so that's genocidal. He didn't say only in this, and when they clipped it, they clipped out that whole middle section, so they had him say something to the effect of, oh, we're here at the school where they teach terrorism, and now we're going to teach Hebrew. And it's like, what?
That's not what he said.
The whole point was we're not going to allow terrorism. But they're like, hey, why would you come have this guy talk to these disillusioned, potentially, you know, they might actually help these people. Why would you have this guy help these people and just turn them to terrorism instead?
Well, this is just odd. So you've got Ali Dawah, a guy who has never once in his entire life been able to understand the Bible and to quote it accurately, who every time he quotes any book at all, he can't do it accurately, who can't understand the Quran accurately. And somehow this guy, who has never once interpreted anything that anyone says accurately ever, he's misrepresenting this guy. That's hard to believe.
So we got a couple of super chats here real quick. I think they made some good points. First of all,
Chloe L says, hello, Daddy, Dr. David 72. Then she said they hide weapons everywhere like
You
rats.
got to belt it more. 72 space virgins.
If you guys don't know what that's from, check out Chloe L's channel. She has some awesome content on there. Better verses than the surahs of the Quran. She says they hide weapons everywhere like rats. Of course, he goes through all cupboards. So what he touches, the undies. So what? Muslims cry after their atrocities they committed, pulling the victim card always. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Seriously, wait. The guys who when they capture unbelievers, they rape them. They're complaining that this guy, while looking for weapons, is going through her underwear drawer.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and making it public because it's supposed to be private. But don't worry, they made sure to call that out and then play the clip in the 5 pillars version of this video so that hundreds of thousands plus more people could see it.
Hey,
that's supposed to be private.
Hey, you know, it'd be funny if these guys, if this guy got ticked off at Ali Dawah, and the next time he's like, all right, here I am digging through Ali Dawah's underwear drawer, and hey, what is all this? Oh my goodness. That's probably why Ali Dawah's mad, because that's that's my room. That's my room. Yeah, what's he doing in my room? Yeah, checking out my undies.
So real quick here, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. And Chloe again.
Chloe says, Alan, how be doing good to get Dr. Wood on the show. He's my Christian hero. When he joins, my pockets open up and the coins flow out.
That's funny.
I'm really not sure what this is in reference to. Is this in reference to something? Because this is the second person that said Daddy David has, and then has cool knees. Which I'm not sure what that's in reference to either, but
I know what that's in reference to. That one I know. I know who that is.
Please enlighten us.
Yeah, tell us. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's a long story, so I will not elaborate on the story itself. Wow. Who's watching? Yeah, okay. we got some very interesting characters watching.
So that is the background to this video so far. So they're looking at confronting it. So let's see what they do if these Jews actually show up.
Allah has stopped it.
You see?
Oh no, he broke it.
Individuals, 1 second. Who are these 3 people? Hello, guys. Just looking for an alleged war criminal. I don't know if you guys know this bastard.
Alleged.
Yeah, he's this.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, who's this bastard?
real quick. So the whole war criminal thing, it's because of the 2 videos. He's totally a war criminal. Mm-hmm. So he can't get through to him. So now they're just harassing people about him.
Yeah, he's a bastard. Yeah, he's a bastard. He's a bastard.
Hey, it's cool though. It's cool though that according to Ali Dawah here, this kind of name calling is perfectly acceptable. So Ali Dawah and friends, no more complaints when we call Muhammad a child molesting, murdering rapist regularly, because Muhammad did way worse than anything you could possibly accuse this guy of. And so, yeah, just thank you. We don't make the rules. We just go along with them.
We also have a lot more evidence about it. Muhammad doing those activities than they do of this alleged event.
Alleged war criminal.
Really mischaracterized it.
And
to be clear, how do you define the word bastard? Like what? Just because there might be something happening there that I think would be interesting to deal with Islam.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up too, because to my knowledge, I mean, this is just how I've heard it, but isn't bastard like an illegitimate child? And like, I can think of a certain individual, I could be totally wrong, but that was born 4 years after their father's death.
Yeah, who could that be?
Like a bastard. I don't know.
I don't know, but apparently it's a word that Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, now we know that Ali Dawah approves of that language. So we're now totally, according to Ali Dawah, we're allowed to use that exact same language to correctly, by the way, we're using the right definition, to correctly describe Muhammad. And this has been fully sanctioned by Ali Dawah. So if any Muslims in the chat are upset, just so you know, Ali Dawah is the one who approves of that kind of language used against his pedophile rapist prophet.
To answer your question, yes.
Yes.
Are you part of the boys' clubhouse?
Yeah.
Are you part of the boys'
You guys are
clubhouse?
boys. That's what you are.
Are you part of the boys' clubhouse? Levi Simons posted a video of himself of a decimated school saying, called it a Hamas terror school, but said that only Hebrews going to be taught in Gaza. He posted a video rummaging through a Palestinian.
Again, he never said only. And it's not decimated.
Real quick. Remember he said he's going to come confront him intellectually? As they're trying to ask questions, they're shouting, "You are boys! You're boys! You're going to the boys' club! You're boys!" This is how he confronts people intellectually, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Palestinian woman's nightwear, but after her home was evacuated, he's going to be addressing young boys. Is that appropriate? Do you believe that's appropriate? Tell me, it's an honest question. You guys do good work. If you're part of this organization, you do good work. Disillusioned young Jewish boys. Is he an appropriate individual to be addressing young boys? Do you appreciate why we're asking these questions?
Don't touch me. Don't try to budge me.
Do you appreciate why we're asking these questions?
Yeah, you Zionist.
We're asking these questions. I'm a member of the Free Press.
Don't try to barge into your building.
Isn't it? By the way, isn't it just amazing the guys who Islam's going to conquer the world and subjugate you all? We're going to have all your girls and we're going to rape them. Shame on you, Zionists. Like what?
Exactly. And what indication does this guy have that he's, according to Ali Dawah's definition of a Zionist, a Zionist?
Well, because he walked by them and he's Jewish. So the two things you need are to be able to walk by a Muslim and to be Jewish. And if you fit those two, then by definition, you're a Zionist, right? And so that's really impressive. You could tell that he's doing a lot of great work. And I'm just learning so much. I mean, this is top level Islam right here. I'm learning a lot.
Well, this is how you question someone intellectually. You have your friend try to ask them questions while you shout, "You're boys! You're boys!"
There needs to be a little list, like a page long or something like that, some simple video with some basic sources on it, because judging from this video and from some recent events, it's just going to become more and more common, apparently, for Muslims to go around harassing any random Jew. And so Jews need to actually be equipped for that kind of thing. So, why do you see? Wait, isn't your prophet the one who boned a little girl? They just need to be ready with stuff like that.
Yep.
And speaking of Jews being prepared, David, don't you have a video on verses that every Jew needs to know?
Oh, yeah. Totally forgot about that. Yeah. That's a video.
We got another super chat that says, David, they are gonna boycott anyone, not them.
Yeah, that's true. So that's right. They're gonna boycott anyone and everyone, right? All of these pro-Hamas individuals, they love talking about their boycotts. They love it. Except they don't realize that every single company that they use and every single company that they enjoy using, technology they enjoy using, are related in some way to Israel, while there's nothing that comes out of Gaza or Hamas. And so it's pretty amazing to see the kind of tactics and
Wait. What do you mean nothing comes out of Gaza? Their chief export is terrorism.
You know what? Never mind. I stand corrected. Nothing that lasts very long in the individual person comes out of Gaza, except for lingerie, apparently, and terrorism. Well, lingerie might be part of it, that kinky terrorism. You never know.
Sorry, I think I missed something. I choose the cow got skipped. I did see that super chat earlier.
I choose the cow.
I choose the cow. Don't we all?
I'll pull that up real quick.
And Masab was gone from Twitter for a little while, and I assumed it was over his cow thing, but he's back on now, and the cow video is still there. So I don't know what he was off for. Maybe he posted something and got suspended for a little while. I don't know.
So so Jack Gray had said, I choose the cow, and Chloe said, off topic, but I do wish someday for Dr. Wood to react to Farfor's new song. His laughter fills my heart with joy.
Maybe we'll do a live stream one day where we just go through
72.
No, a bunch of the videos that people in the chat post, because a bunch of people in the chat have channels and stuff, and so maybe we'll just go through a bunch of videos one day.
That'd be cool.
And make fun of them.
Definitely.
I'm a member of the Free Press.
Don't try touching me.
Questions.
Yeah, this is not Israel, bruv. Don't ever try touching me again. Yeah,
Why are you having an alleged
trust me.
How did you try to touch him?
See,
I
dude,
didn't see him try to touch him.
This guy is trying to avoid it and go inside. Don't touch me.
Yeah, guys, you have to learn how to deal with the Dawah guys. You don't let them talk to you like this. I mean, seriously, at this point, I would be just like this. I would be like, what did you just say to me? Why you act? You said what to me? Okay, I'll tell you what. Ali Dawah, you go ahead and threaten me. You go ahead and threaten me, and I'll just sit here tearing out pages of the Quran until you decide to stop threatening me. You tell me when you're done. Okay, no, I won't even say a word. You let me go. You let me go in here. I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm just going to keep doing this until you get sick of it. Okay? You done? You done? You're done now. You're done. Okay. Now stay out of my face. That's how I
That or start pulling up their own sources, like, oh, you don't want me to touch you. So like, you mean don't touch you like the way that Muhammad touched a little boy like that? Like,
yeah. Don't worry. I'm not going to start sucking on your tongue like Muhammad sucked on that little boy's tongue. I won't do that.
Or other parts of the little boy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and I won't cover you in semen the way Muhammad was always covered in semen. If that's what you're looking for, Ali Dawah, there's a goat farm right over there.
A whole brothel. That's amazing.
Yeah, and guys, to be clear, ordinarily I do not recommend talking. You should try to get along with people. You should try to be nice to people. I'm talking about these particular guys who think that they can talk down everyone. People who, they're in a non-Muslim country, but they still act like they control it. They just need to learn. You got to learn. You control nothing here. You don't control me. And you're not going to harass us into going along with your idiotic nonsense. So shut up, or I'm not going to hit you, but I'm going to make you shut up.
I think that's what Ali Dawah really wanted, and I think we'll see that as it continues. He wanted to get on video a Jew hitting him. That's what he wanted.
Oh yeah. That'd be YouTube gold for Ali Dawah. Oh my goodness, the persecution!
We would never see any of the antagonistic, nothing like that. It would just be peaceful video. And then I asked him this question, and this is what he did. Thunk. That's all you'd see.
Yeah, but instead he has to try to put it in their minds. Be like, don't touch me the entire time, and you'll see that continue. Yeah, don't touch me. It's like, we're all watching this video. Like, what, are you scared he's going to touch you intellectually? Like, what? Okay. So Chloe L said, David Wood, it's called Into the Seventh Heaven, and I got far 4 and Kitty's saying word for word about the bisexual market in heaven.
Oh, boy.
Sounds lovely.
72.
Watch me again. Yeah, all the police.
Why
here legally?
All the police.
We're legally here.
Why
criminals?
Why are you allowing?
Yes.
You pause it whenever you want.
So real quick, as far as we're here legally, actually, your brother in Christ did some research. This was not legal.
Nope.
There are
not
several components already that are illegal according to UK law. Would you like to go through those, or?
First of all, we are already seeing the start of it. It gets much worse, but this is definitely classified as harassment and hate speech, which are things that the Muslims hide behind all the time there in the UK. So this is a violation of UK law right here. You're blocking his entrance into his work. That's not legal. You can't just stand in front of a door, say, don't touch me, and complain about them trying to get into their own place of work where they are legally allowed to be.
But the harassment, I mean, that's why they're there, to intellectually confront them. No, this is harassment. And even though I'm not on board with like hate speech laws at all, harassment's still a different level. It's just crazy that, they can claim this for everybody else, and everybody else is wrong to do this, but, free pass for us.
They're going to call the police because these individuals are trying to enter their own building.
Yep. Well, no, they said they were going to call the police.
And Ali Dawah.
Oh, they go ahead.
We're
here legally. We're here.
Okay,
we can verbally
I thought Ali
you.
Dawah was saying, and his buddy were saying, we're going to call the police because you're trying to touch us.
No, but they did at the beginning of the video talk about how everybody should be like confronting the UK for the UK tax dollars not being spent on stopping these evil Jews for allowing another Jewish man to talk to other Jews to help them out. So it's just
again, I think Jews, since this was probably going to be the new thing, they're going to go around harassing them. And notice Ali Dawah is going to want to show up, because keep in mind, it really doesn't, from his perspective, it doesn't matter what happens. It would be great for him if he got punched or something like that, but just him showing the community that he's going after these guys makes him look strong, and he's the guy who's out getting done, even though he's just trying to get hits and so on. So the general solution to that would be to make the footage unusable, and you would do that by every time they show up with a camera and a mic, just start insulting Muhammad. Then they're not going to want to show it. You're not going to want to show it. You just sit there. Oh, hey, the advocates for pedophilia have showed up to defend their child molesting, murdering, rapist prophet, and just start blasting Muhammad. They're not going to show that.
He was 9 years old.
He was 9 years old.
Yeah, that would work in the United States, but it will not work so well in the UK because of the hate speech laws that we were referring to. That would be illegal. Just like what they are doing here is also a violation of it. There should be an investigation on them. Go ahead.
He was 9 years old.
Still love that clip. That takes some gumption. So, okay.
Who's you look at your country?
No, we're born here. These are countries. We're born here.
How do you know I'm Afghanistan?
Simple question. Why is an alleged war criminal? Why is an alleged Ali, let him in. We just want some questions answered.
Your goal is to kill us. Your goal.
These are genuine questions.
Our destruction.
Your goal is to kill us.
Your goal is to kill us. Like, he might be a little familiar with, like, the Muslim sources that say, there's a Jew behind me, come kill him. A little bit.
Yeah, Ali Dawah was just thinking to himself, he's like, you're lucky this Garkod tree is right here. Otherwise, I'd be fighting you. I could tell that he's just trying to make an excuse not to fight. But look at that, finally exposing the fact that they do want to eliminate all Jews, like that beautiful Daniel Hakikachu debate really made clear, right? The true and proper elimination of all Jewish people is the necessary end goal of Islam. That's it. Very simple.
So Chloe has a comment here. And
I'm afraid it wouldn't work in UK. Brother beat me to it. Yes, police work for jihadis and justify jihad.
Oh, yeah.
I would totally do it, and I don't believe it. I know they're happy to arrest Christians and so on. I mean, imagine Ali Dawah shows up, starts insulting them, accusing them of war crimes, saying all this stuff, and this guy starts insulting Muhammad. If I were a Jew, I would instantly start, and I would dare police to arrest me and say, okay, go ahead, start arresting Jews for responding to Muslims who want to annihilate us, and go ahead and arrest me for making fun of their prophet in return when he shows up to where I work. Go ahead and see how well that goes for you, British police. Because then notice the reason the British police are so quick to defend Islam is they're so terrified of being called Islamophobes. Well, good. Let them start being called anti-Semites. And I don't know. I'd be willing to, because I mean, at the end of the day, what are they really going to do? They're gonna lock you up for a couple hours and try to fine you and so on. It would be huge. It would be such an awesome media story about how screwed up the British police are. I say it'd be worth it. So you heard it here, folks. Try that.
And that would be religious persecution too, if you're jailed or fined or whatever it is for saying things about religious ideologies.
Well, I mean, it's just insane. I mean, you can go to Ali Dawah's bookshelf and pull up multiple books that all say this guy is going to be hiding behind a tree and the tree's going to, expose him and getting him killed. That's all fine. You can have that. But what? I can't say don't follow that fake prophet. That crosses the line in Great Britain. Yeah, I'd do it. I'd be testing that rule all the time.
So Joshua Wooden says, it's funny when people say bruv instead of brother. Speaking of your brother in Christ, where can I get a screaming Ali? I mean, a screaming goat.
Amazon.
Yeah, but they're not the custom made ones. You should start a little goat store.
Start a little goat store.
Just have your own little
The
goat herd,
Quran
each
goats.
eating different pages of the Quran, and you can like
Different
custom
colors.
order. You can custom order which verse you want it to be eating. You know which one you want abrogated by Allah. And...
Oh my goodness, that would be hilarious. Oh, there's a business plan for you.
I was gonna. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna jump out real quick. I'm gonna join and hopefully not kill this stream from a different device, as I am famous for now on the internet. But I'll let you guys start this next clip.
I've been very clear since day one. What does that mean? What does that mean? You said I want to you said your own people. I'm Kurdish from Turkey. I'm a
I believe these individuals may be involved with the clubhouse, the boys' clubhouse. I'm a member of the Free Press. I'm asking genuine questions. We are
100% genuine questions here. No assumptions made. Just genuine questions.
We got a grade A detective here. They said yes, and then they're trying to enter the building. I think they might be associated with this charity.
Maybe just a little bit, occasionally.
That's the brilliance of Islam. This is what it means to be intellectually, challenged, right? He's intellectually challenging people, and so that must be what he means, right? He's proving that people walking into a building probably want to be at that building. What a genius! This is so powerful.
And remember, they're just there to ask simple questions. The yelling is just the flavoring of the questions being asked at this point.
asking why Levi Simons is being allowed to address young boys. He posted a video of himself. He posted a video of himself outside the school, a decimated school. He posted a video of...
Again, no indication from the video that's a decimated school. Unless you know something that we don't know and you haven't given any other evidence that it would have been decimated, I have to say, not decimated.
I have to say, I'm liking these guys' approach in theory, but notice the pattern that they're laying down here, because other people could follow this pattern. In other words, any place where following these guys' example, any place where Ali Dawah is going to be speaking, some Dawah event, Muhammad Hijab, Daniel Hakikachu, Sheikh Uthman, any of these guys, any place any of these guys are going, any mosque, any Islamic center, any campus that these guys are going to be speaking at, people should show up with a list of things that these guys have said. Ali Dawah saying that, that he's going to kill apostates when he gets in charge, that he would tell his 9-year-old daughter that she's ready for marriage if she gets her first, period at that age and so on. Muhammad Hijab, all the things he said, Sheikh Uthman. And these guys should be confronted, and anyone who's associated with any place where these guys are going to show up should, following their example, not according to me, according to their example, there should be a group of people wherever these guys go, showing up ahead of time and apparently harassing everyone who's there. And you might as well just toss in a bunch of stuff about Muhammad in your questioning.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't even have to go to conjecture. We can just say actual things they've actually said, unlike these guys who are just making stuff up.
Yeah, and say, look, here's a video of for instance, again, if Ali Dawah was showing up to some campus or something like that to speak, then you should be going and showing the video clip of him saying that there's, when he gets his way, he's going to execute. Apostates are going to be executed, and he's going to be watching. And show that and say, hey, just, does your campus group or your mosque, or you agree with this, right? You agree with this? And then plaster it all over the internet, just like these guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, that seems to be the way they want to play this. So fair game, according to them.
Himself rummaging through a Palestinian woman's dress wear. These are simple questions we are asking.
belongs to the Jews. You wish. Very clear. You wish. You wish. You wish. You're a coward. You're a coward. Always will belong to us. Always will belong to us. Die in your rage. You war criminal. You're a war criminal.
Die in your rage.
Yep, there you go. Die in your rage.
We're bringing it back, boys. We're bringing it back.
I don't think these two Jewish individuals raised their voice once. They're just like, "Come on, leave us alone. We want to go into the building." And then he's yelling at them, telling them that the guy that they might know is a bastard, yelling it. In fact, he's a bastard. Why do you say he's a bastard? He's a bastard. How dare you associate with a bastard? And by the way, you guys are filled with rage.
Like, clearly, if there was ever a clear sign that demonic activity is a real thing, this would be a pretty good moment, right? Because you could be like, all right, these guys, every single thing that they say actually works against themselves and their own religion, right? How dare you be associated with a bastard? Muhammad was actually by definition a bastard, right? How dare you be associated with a war criminal? Muhammad was by definition in every way significantly worse as a war criminal, right? How dare you be associated with, just like in every respect, it's as if they're demonically possessed or demonically deceived such that they can't realize that all they do is project. Again, you know, for any atheists that might be watching, I'm just arguing that there's a possibility, yes, humans can self-deceive, but there's also a possibility that demonic activity is a real thing, and that this might be an instance of it, right? Otherwise, it's just pure stupidity. And I don't know which would be worse. So, you know, that's up to the audience watching.
War criminal. You're war criminals. You're war criminals. You guys are all war criminals. You guys are all cowards. You guys are all cowards. You cowards. You war criminals. You baby killers. You're baby killers. Baby killers. You baby killers. You guys are baby killers. Baby killers. You're all cowards. You're all cowards. All baby killers. You're baby killers. You coward. You're inviting a war criminal. You're inviting a war criminal. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You're a war criminal. You're a war criminal. You are a war criminal. That's what you are. You're a war criminal. Don't touch me. You're a war criminal. You coward.
What in the world?
Did we break David S down there? I don't know. I think we might have.
So they invited someone.
Argument.
Yeah, this is confronting them intellectually. Remember, that's what he said. He said, "I came here to confront them intellectually."
Yes,
and also,
I think he was telling the truth. This is the maximum his intellect can offer, right?
And also,
this is it. I mean,
look, you've got this guy. So this is the guy, right? This is the guy they're looking for.
No, these are just other people who work for the organization that invited him to speak.
He's called. Okay, so
it's not even.
So they invited an IDF soldier. They say they think the guy's a coward, even though that guy hunts down terrorists. And meanwhile, Ali Dawah and Dilly Hussain, protected by the British police, would never dare of going and fighting for Allah. But the people who go and track down and find and hunt the terrorists, they're the cowards. The guys who sit there moaning and wailing outside some Jewish center, they're the super brave ones.
And these guys are not associated with them other than just asking. And we have no clue who these guys are. They didn't ask.
They might just be three people who work there. They might not even know what's good. Like they might not even know what the Ali Dawah is talking about, right? They might not even know what he's talking about. They just work at this place. And apparently they invited Levi to speak there. Someone at the organization did. Not even these two individuals, but because someone at the organization invited him, these two individuals who don't want to answer questions are war criminals, baby killers, cowards. Did I miss anything?
No, I think you're very good at your note taking there. Yeah.
Like not a single argument was made. No actual evidence was shown to these two random people. He's just shouting, and that's supposed to be impressive. And the worst part is that I'm sure if I read the comments of that video, then the comments would be like, Alhamdulillah, this is the most incredible dawah I've ever seen in my life. Oh, I'm gonna do sujood. I'm gonna pray to you. I'm gonna pray to you.
I glanced. It's all, oh, Ali Dawah, he's so brave. Ali Dawah, what a hero. Ali Dawah, so great.
Like talking about the comment section down here.
Oh no! Oh, this is gonna make me so upset.
No. I won't do that to your brain. I'm not that mean.
Ugh.
Not
I mean,
that
we
mean.
can't.
guys,
It
guys,
gets bad.
at the end of the day, by the way, I mean, it's it'd be comical if it wasn't so pathetic that, okay, Israel's hunting down Hamas and destroying them, and Ali Dawah's going, oh, this is a good opportunity for me to get some new views. Yeah. Okay, you're going to get your views, Ali Dawah. You can go around harassing a couple people, and yep, your stupid, idiotic followers will absolutely love it, and you'll be the hero. Meanwhile, Hamas is still getting destroyed. So it's like, what are you doing? They're destroying Hamas. You're getting some cheap views on YouTube. Great. Yeah, keep doing that. Keep up with that exchange rate.
So Chloe has a point. Yes, David S. demons are real. Most Muslims are filled with them, since Allah is Satan, or a moon demon. Yes, in fact, there's an interesting movie. If you haven't seen it yet, Chloe, it is Nefarious. Very well done movie. It's supposed to be a quote unquote horror, but it's very good as far as if you've ever read the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis. I would say that it's almost video form of that to a level.
Nice.
Not the same type, but very similar in a lot of regards. In fact, I did a review over on Newton Sci-Fi on that one, on the Newton Sci-Fi channel. It was a good one. So yeah, trying to get attention. Again, he's saying, don't hit me. It's like, don't touch me. It's like, okay, you're digging for him to punch you. You want that video.
Yeah. The guy is literally walking the opposite direction. He's walking away from Ali Dawah. Ali Dawah is chasing after him, saying, don't touch me. Weird.
War criminals. And let me get this right. We are here talking to them. What does it say? War criminals. You can see them. None of them can condemn. You're a war criminal. That's what you are. You're a war criminal. Levi's side. Why are you inviting a war criminal? Why inviting a war criminal? You are a war criminal. I'm a believer. I'm Turkish. You're war criminal. You cowards. You baby killers. You guys are baby killers. That's what you are. You're baby killers. You kill baby killers. Baby killers.
Again, accusation. These guys, have they ever even been to Israel? Have they ever been to Hamas? To Gaza? There's no evidence that these guys are associated with them at all, other than they just work here at this Jewish charity trying to help boys. That's it.
Well, you see, the issue is that they think that Ezra is the son of God. That's it. That's why all this is happening.
Yeah, why doesn't that's a fundamental criticism in the Muslim sources. It's, you worship Ezra, you say Ezra's the son of God, and so on. You never hear Muslims bringing this up as a criticism of against Jews, and I wonder why that is. It's just like, do they know that Muhammad was a clueless moron?
Exactly. Chloe reminded me there was a super chat here for you, David. She was saying that she's like you. You're like me, David. You're authentic. Don't care what public people think.
No, she said autistic. Hey, look, she said, hey, you're like me, David. I'm autistic. Hey, Chloe, you just called me autistic. No, I know what you meant. You're like me in the sense that we'll both say. But actually, I'm not. I actually am like I'm pretty careful. If I'm on the street or something like that, I'm pretty careful. You have to actually tick me off, and like if Ali Dawah over there, then he would tick me off enough to where I would just let loose. But ordinarily, I'm pretty laid back.
And I can agree with that with many of the videos we've been on.
It's scum. Shame on you. Okay, so as you can see, guys, this attitude is
okay. Now that they're gone, as you can see, guys,
this attitude of these Jews. Do you see them? Why are they not serving us? Why are they not becoming good dimmies?
Oh,
How
saw
dare
you.
they not be our sex slaves? How dare they? How dare they walk around on the same side of the road as us without being pushed to the side?
Yeah.
How dare they? These disgusting people, they exist. How dare they? Now back to my sponsor. Have you ever wanted an orgasm enhancer for women? If you have, how dare they? I just don't get it. I'm actually losing it. I think I'm losing it a bit.
Turn the light switch on. It's just an act. It's just an act. All that outrage is just an act. There's nothing there. That's why you can just turn it on, turn it off. It's just an act.
Consistent with their worldview. No act of condemnation to what Israel is doing, justification, and then what are we accused of? We want to kill them. Just for coming in and having an honest civil discussion. This is what I was coming to do. I was coming to ask a question, why are they inviting an alleged war criminal? And if they were to, they would accuse saying, oh, you want to kill us? Who wants to kill you? Who wants to kill? We are asking for the Jews, the Muslims, the Christians. I literally came here alone, around the world. But when we come here and
okay, he's asking for the Jews and Christians and Muslims to live in peace around the world. Need to say that's not consistent with the Quran or the Hadith at all. But again, he's acting as a see, these guys wronged us. They weren't willing to talk to us. They couldn't even answer our simple questions. We were just here to ask them questions, and they did not answer anything.
Yeah, we were so genuine that before we even knew who they were, we started to call them bastards. That is how you have a genuine conversation with someone.
You start calling them war criminals, making accusations of crimes directly against them personally. That's how you get an honest conversation going. And here we're going
to go
in Islam,
that's pretty accurate.
Oh, true. We're going to go into where they're talking to the cops now. So pay attention to what they're actually saying to the cops. And we'll be fact checking what they're saying to the cops and seeing if they are lying to the cops here in Ali Dawah's own video.
I spoke to individuals. As I came here to ask you questions, I've also put it in writing. Now, as for others turning up, that's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, so just to let you know, I'm a member of the Free Press here. I came here alone to ask questions.
I'm a member of Free Press. I came here alone. That's a lie. As we established early on in the video.
Well, he technically came, right, because he was already there. But then Ali Dawah shows up and he's like, I was invited here. So he didn't really come alone. But technically speaking, he probably drove by himself there. Unless he says, I can technically say I came alone. And other people, they showed up upon my invitation.
Yep, just randomly showed up. I don't know why they showed up. It's not like I sent out a Twitter post about this going on and invited people out here. No, they just happened to show up.
Like a gentleman called Levi Simons, who was posting very problematic because he's addressing young Jewish boys.
But he's not.
He's not.
He's not here today.
Not here today.
No, he's not here today.
Okay, thank you very much for clarifying.
That's why we're down and saying.
They weren't telling us that. They weren't telling us that.
There was something on the internet to say he was going to be here today.
That's done. We're done.
Why are they
That's done.
baby killer?
No, that's not. That's not on us. That's not on us. We came here just to ask.
That's not on us. That statement's not us. That's not on us. No, nothing about baby killer.
I just shared the Ali Dawah video on Twitter. I said, here we have Ali Dawah and Dilly Hussain using YouTube to give their followers a tutorial on how to openly harass Jews in the UK. If the situation were reversed and people were harassing Muslims at a mosque, at Team YouTube would ban them for hate speech. And so, to be clear, I don't think that Ali Dawah and Dilly should be banned for something like this. I do have a problem with the fact that it's just a fact. If I were to go to their mosque and act like this to them, I would be banned for hate speech. And so you have this. Notice everywhere, every place ends up with the same thing. In the UK, they call it two-tier policing. If you show up with a British flag, they'll treat you one way. If you show up with a Palestinian flag, they treat you completely different. But Facebook is the same, YouTube's the same. They all have this completely different set of rules for Muslims, and that is a problem.
Absolutely. And I guess that's my biggest issue with this, is just not being, you guys hide behind these laws saying that they're good laws, but then you're violating them, turn around lying about why you're there, what you're doing. So let's see what else they have to say to the cops.
Christian, we came to ask questions, and he was provoked by telling us that we want to kill him and all this kind of nonsense.
Officer, we asked him, it sounds like argy-bargy.
Them separately, but as far as we're concerned, he's not here today. He won't be speaking. It's been cancelled.
Please, let me just finish. The argy-bargy started when we asked questions. Instead of just saying it's not happening, we would have gone, and we're going to go on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
But please do let them know the argy-bargy happened, because all they had to say was Levi Simons was not here. That's it.
I will have a chat. Don't worry. Leave that.
When would they have been able to say that?
Yeah.
Also, even if Levi Simmons was there, it wouldn't matter, right? Because they have no right to just speak against and harass random people on the sidewalk for the crime of existing and being Jewish, right? So even if Levi Simmons was there, you know, they're brain dead nonsense showing that they have IQ of less than a child, right? Because they follow their illiterate, stupid pagan prophet. It shows that they don't understand that they don't have the inherent, intrinsic, and essential right proper to their nature to go around and harass and beat up and maliciously speak against random Jewish people. But worst of all, they call these Jewish people cowards for having the self-control to not fight back, and then cowardly talk to these police because they're so pathetic, so childlike, so infantile, that they can't even be honest about the reason that they're there, just to reflect how childlike Aisha was when Muhammad raped her when she was 9 years old. And so, in order to tie their whole religion together and all of its demonic nonsense, all you have are two idiots who don't know how to speak the truth, and so they do what Allah does, which is lie constantly. And that's Islam for you in one video. It's amazing what Ali Dawah can teach an audience.
Yep, this is perfect, and we're not even finished yet. There's still
You still
more.
got like 5-6 minutes.
Oh, yes. The gifts keep on giving. So, Chloe had a clarification. She said, oops, I mean, you're a psychopath, and I am on the spectrum, too. Sorry. We act differently in public because we don't care about people. We don't care about if people think we are weird. Weird's fun. What are you talking about? Weird is fun. We got another one here. God bless Israel and the IDF. That's their statement, not mine. I think that's a Zionist statement there, obviously, according to Ali Dawah, because you just showed support for
a genocidal statement.
Genocidal statement, absolutely. If you had that, you would teach a kid Hebrew in that. You're obviously a war criminal. Absolutely, obviously a war criminal. Open and closed. So let's go ahead and hit the next.
Thank you very much. Let's go.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's be arrested, buddy. Welcome. Madam, thank you for coming. Exactly.
Sister, thank you for showing your solidarity. Thank you.
I really appreciate the fact that you're here.
And I just saw today on Twitter that this.
They did post it on Twitter. They made this public declaration. You're going to be here. And then, oh no, I came alone. I don't know why these guys just happened to show up here, please. They just happened
keep
to
in mind,
show up.
This is their video. They could have edited this however they wanted. They show themselves telling the police that they have no idea why these other people showed up. And then they go to this woman, and then she says, yeah, I saw your post on Twitter, and I came. And they just left it in their video because it didn't matter.
Absolutely. That's a good question, John. Let's find out. Rewind for a second.
Don't touch me. Appreciate the fact that you're here.
And I just saw.
Rewind just a little bit.
Madam, thank you for coming.
Exactly. Looks close
Sister,
enough.
thank you for showing your solidarity.
So no, thank you for coming. Thank you for, thank you for showing your solidarity with us. It's like, guys, these guys premeditated this. They knew other people were showing up. The very fact that she's the only one that seemed to show up is a good sign, granted. in my opinion. Because if Ali Dawah is posting about this and this other gentleman is also posting about it, saying, hey, we need to stop it. We need to show up here. We need to be together. And the only other person you get is a Christian to show up. Oh, boy. What does that say about your audience's priorities there?
I really appreciate the fact that you're here.
And I just saw today on Twitter that this war criminal was going to be here.
Yeah, it's
giving a
unbelievable.
talk,
It's
and I
unbelievable.
was just so upset. I live in Southgate.
Yeah.
And I've got something to go to, but I thought I need to at least go and.
Yeah. No, we really appreciate. We really appreciate the fact that the fact that you was here. I mean, you showed the support. No, it is.
Every day I cry. I cry
Yeah.
every day when I see what's going on.
Exactly, and the thing
and
is,
these people are not listening.
One thing that we've noticed. What's your name, sister?
Ellie.
Sister Ellie. My name's Ali. Yeah. So one thing that you've noticed is that there is.
Hey, we've got the same name, yeah.
Yep, there you go. They're the same. Aha.
Should have known. She's a spy sent by Hamas. Look at that. We have to use the same logic that they use when they talk about us being like paid by Mossad and receiving shekels and stuff.
Yo, we've got the same name, but my voice is way higher pitched than yours, yeah?
That's because of how high his intelligence is. It increases as the frequency goes up.
Everything I say sounds like this, yeah?
So she showed up to support because of the Twitter post that they posted, and she can't understand why no one else listens to the propaganda coming from Hamas. Well, maybe there's a reason why.
Onto them, he's telling me, "Oh, you want to kill me? You guys kill each other. Look at your countries." Not a single. You know what I find very bizarre? You know what I find? Yes, Sister Ellie. You know what I find bizarre? When ISIS was a couple of years ago, we as Muslims, from our layman, I'm a public figure, to our imams, to our leaders, all condemned ISIS. Why? Because they were carrying atrocity under our name.
What was this condemnation? Where?
Yeah. I remember the endless rallies on. I remember the endless protests on college campuses. In reality, it was, "Hey, do you support ISIS?" No, we condemn that. But they didn't seem overly emotional. They didn't seem too upset about it, right? You toss a Jew into the mix, suddenly, burn everything to the ground. You could tell a lot about the Dawah guys by their emotional reaction to things.
So
you have some tokens? It's just like CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations in the U.S. After every terrorist attack, we're issuing this statement to show that we condemn this attack, and we warn everyone about the backlash, the anti-Muslim backlash that is sure to follow because you're all such hateful, Islamophobic, hate-mongering bigots. And but anytime there's anything, a woman at a grocery store, someone pulls on her hijab, then it's like, it's the end of the world. What are we gonna do now? And it's like, I can tell by your emotions what you're really thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my thought is similar, that you have some token opposition to ISIS, right? They say the right thing, but then it's always right? We oppose ISIS, but why is everyone making a big deal about this and associating with Islam? You people are all so hateful. Why is no one talking about these other things? Blah, 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 right? And then here you have this made up nonsense about this guy being a war criminal, which was entirely invented by their editing and their imaginations. A couple of individuals who declined to answer a question, and that somehow is on the same level as this, we condemned ISIS. So because you're associated with an organization that possibly invited someone who someone thinks did something inappropriate, and you declined to answer a question, that's on the same level as if a Muslim had come out in support of ISIS.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, basically.
So I just want to rewind here and see exactly who he claims is the people who condemned ISIS, Muslims who condemned ISIS, because I don't remember this occurring.
A couple of years ago, we as Muslims, from our layman, I'm a public figure, to our imams, to our leaders, all condemned.
Every single Muslim condemned ISIS.
Yeah, especially all the ones who are traveling from the UK and the United States and Canada and France and everywhere else in the world and traveling there to help them out. And then, oops, they lost. Yeah, we condemned it, remember?
Yeah, we condemned it absolutely when way after the fact, maybe, because I still haven't heard every single one condemn it. Because he's talking in absolute. So that's what he's saying.
So layman, right?
Layman,
everyone.
Layman?
So that's everyone. Then he said, I'm a public figure. He didn't actually say I condemned it. He just said, I'm a public figure. And then he said, to our leaders and to our imams. Now, there was plenty of imams who made no statement. There were some who made supportive statements, and there were some who made opposing statements. As far as leaders go, I have no idea who he has in mind, if it's not imams or himself, because, you know, he's a public figure. That's somewhere else. None of those categories. Did Ali Dawah condemn ISIS while it was ongoing? I don't think he did. I mean, maybe he did. I don't know for a fact.
Yeah, whatever the case was, he didn't. Let's just say he didn't seem too overly upset about what was going on. I mean, keep in mind what I mean, when Ali Dawah is saying, you know, well, when we get our caliphate, yeah, all you apostates was going to put you to death, and we be watching. Well, I mean, how different is he from ISIS?
Exactly.
They may have some disagreements, but they're in the same general ballpark as far as what they're after. And look, I mean, this is a guy who like if you asked him right now, are you pro Hamas? Oh no, of course not. When in reality, of course. And so, how is the state that Ali Dawah wants so radically different from what you'd get from ISIS or Hamas or any of the other jihadi groups?
Well, in this one, he'd have power.
Yeah, maybe that's what he wants.
That's about it.
And by the way, it's so clear, like him and Muhammad Hijab and all these guys, they think they're going to be like the leaders in the new caliphate that they want, and it's kind of adorable, right? It's like little kids, like, oh, we're going to run the caliphate, and everyone's going to be serving us, and people are just going to bring us all these women all the time as sex slaves. Come on, dude, what a joke! It's Ali Dawah weigh like 80 pounds.
Again, he's only going to confront them intellectually, never physically, obviously.
Yeah, and that's like Muhammad Hijab, and they plan this kind of thing, right? When Muhammad Hijab would post like threats of rape and torture, he would just add intellectual somewhere in there, and you say, "Oh, I'm just talking about intellectually raping them and stuff like that." And come on, dude. It's like I'm inserting this so that if I get in trouble, I can say, "What are you talking about?" I said intellectually, and then I said all the stuff.
Under our name. Yeah. So now the funny thing is this stuff. You look at the layman, the Zionist layman. By the way, we're not talking about Jewish. The Zionist layman, to the public figures, to the charities, to the organizations from the IDF soldiers, to the ministers, to the MPs are all saying something systematically. What an act of condemnation.
Okay, so his qualification there, and obviously he just included that charity right over there behind him. Even though they're not having the guy speak that they don't want him to speak at, that charity right there that he gestured at while he's referring to them is a Zionist organization. Now, he's saying he's not talking about Jews, but the Zionists. Okay. What does he classify Zionism as? That'd be an open question.
Anything that he doesn't like, I think, right? Because he just was proven wrong about that one guy, Levi Simmons, going to that little charity, but he still says the charity supports Zionism. It's a Zionist organization, even though he just got evidence that it doesn't have Levi Simmons coming by. But in either case, right? He says, well, they're still Zionists because they're Jewish.
They exist.
And they exist. And those two factors are enough to establish Zionism, right? Which, you know, I mean, saying the quiet part out loud, but I think it's quite clear anyone that he doesn't like is a Zionist. It's kind of like how people used to say to anyone they didn't like, they're a Nazi, right? Which, ironically enough, now a lot of those people are the ones who would be quite Nazi-like. But in either case, I'm pretty sure it's the same way they use the word Islamophobe. It just means anyone that doesn't like me or doesn't fully support me with everything that I want. It's like a child, you know, who doesn't know that people can differ without having some extreme oppositional force or enemy. And so since Islam is the religion of children, infants, and those who are too young to know better, it seems like he's still stuck in that mindset, which explains quite a bit.
So he's made this classification called Zionists up, basically, and filled it with the people that he doesn't like, and anyone he does like, he removes from that category into some other category. So when he says that, because his first criteria was that, and claim was that all Muslims, from laymen, leaders, everyone, condemned ISIS. So that was a religious statement, that a religious identity that unified and condemned ISIS, according to him. He's not comparing apples to apples here. He's comparing this group that he's made up that would not identify as Zionists, because I'm pretty sure he put me in that category, and I don't identify as a Zionist in any way, shape, or form. But he would throw me into that pile as well and say, see, you don't condemn Israel. Well, if I condemned Israel, would I be in the Zionist category? According to him, no, I wouldn't be in the Zionist category. So I'd be removed from there, and instantly he would still have the same argument. No Zionist ever condemns Israel. Well, yeah, because you made that the criteria.
So if you support Israel, you're a Zionist. And if you condemn them for anything, or condemn this Levi individual for going through women's clothing, then you're not a Zionist. Therefore, by definition, every Zionist is in support of Israel. Every person in support of Israel is a Zionist. I fail to see the problem with his argument. I mean, this is a perfectly sound argument. Why aren't people who support Israel also condemning Israel? Strange.
Nope. Believe me, that is the most intellectual confrontation he can put out.
Well, I will say that talking to this woman, although mind-numbing, is quite an upgrade from when he was intellectually confronting the individuals who work for the Jewish Center.
Nope. I think Chloe is 100% right on this. Zionists equals, we believe Israel has the right to exist. But then again, his classification for saying that, well, all Zionists don't condemn Israel. Well, no, they would say that Israel has the right to exist. If that's the definition, then by definition, they can't. It's like saying, well, Muslims can't condemn Muhammad. Well, yes, they by definition can't, because if you rebel against Muhammad, then you're rebelling against Islam. It's a contradictory statement.
So before we go on, because it is related, the Kamali Bengali asked me to bring up, why do Muslims disagree with the Quran on this issue? Because the Quran seems to say that they should support Israel.
That's a good question, because our statement, we had a super chat earlier that stated that Allah was, according to that definition, a Zionist.
Yeah, there's some. If I wanted to defend their position on as far as the Quran is concerned, to be fair, you have passages in the Quran about Allah giving, the land to the Jews and giving them control over the land and so on. There are some passages about Allah punishing the Jews, which no one has any idea how to interpret those. In other words, the Quran is very unclear in what it's talking about, but they can kind of read their own view into those passages, even though it's not clear that that's what the Quran is saying. I even saw. So the Quran refers to the two punishments of the Jews after they rebelled against Allah. And so you can go to the commentaries, and Muslims have interpreted this as like the Assyrians and the Babylonians, or the Babylonians and the Romans. What are these two punishments, and so on. I saw a video from Sheikh Yasser Qadi, who who said there's a new interpretation where one of the punishments is in the future. It's actually a prophecy, and this is Sheikh Yasser Qadi claiming that Muslims are going to exterminate Israel. And so it's just amazing that you can have Yasser Qadi saying that this is a prophecy that we Muslims are going to go and we're going to annihilate Israel. That's totally acceptable on YouTube. Calling for the deaths of apostates, totally acceptable. Sheikh Asim al-Hakim telling people that, hey, we're not strong enough to go around and subjugate the world right now, but we need to be preparing for that day when we'll be able to go door to door, knocking on the door and say, hey, you're going to convert, or you're going to pay us, or we're going to kill you. This is all totally acceptable. And here you have like him giving a tutorial on how to harass just random Jews in the UK. This is all totally fine with YouTube.
Well, that doesn't make any sense because some people online had told me that Israel never existed and that it was always Palestine. Are you saying the Quran says that Israel existed?
Yep.
Well, now this doesn't make any sense because I thought that's the eternal mind of Allah, which means Allah infallibly knows that Israel exists. So why are so many Muslims saying Israel never existed as a land, right? It's always been Palestine.
Yeah, well, I mean, to say something like that, you are so insanely stupid and delusional that I mean, you're put it this way: as dumb as the Quran is, they're not getting that view from the Quran. It's like a social media thing where people get all their information from TikTok, and you could pretty much program those morons to believe anything.
True. Dang, I guess Muhammad Ajab didn't teach me everything he thought he would. That's tough. I'll have to find a better Dawah teacher. Ali Dawah, that's the next best option. Let's see what he has to say.
You might be slightly disappointed in that one. So I do have a real quick here. Hey, your brother in Christ, I just made an ad for Arby's University. I'm actually serious this time. I will have to. Oh boy. Okay. That's on the to-do docket. I'll put that aside for now. We'll revisit that later.
Hey, Palestine 1 in the chat said it's called Palestine in the Torah. Where's that?
I would love that reference.
Since the term hadn't been invented by the Romans yet, where's that? Chapter and verse. Chapter and verse, Palestine 1. Pretty easy. Do you know how chapter and verse works? You just said something. You said something's in the Torah. So you say, okay, here's the book, and here's the chapter of the book, and here's the verse where it talks about Palestine. Oh, and people are asking, Palestine 1 said, Exodus 15:14, Philistia, the Philistines. So those guys who came from those guys who came from Greece and so on, the Philistines, right? Yeah, so guys, here's how it works. You had the Philistines. Right? We know who the Philistines were. And then you had the Romans eventually when you had Jews who rebelled against the Roman Empire. As an insult, the Romans called the area Palestine after the Philistines as an insult. What in the name of common sense does that have to do with the Torah doesn't call? This is so dumb. The Torah doesn't call the land of Israel Palestine. There was the territory of the Philistines. That's different, right? Like Gaza. Gaza's called Gaza because there was a city of the Philistines called Gaza. This has nothing to do with anything that you guys are talking about today. So what level of stupid are you?
Oh,
I don't know.
I would say probably kin to Ali Dawah here.
Yeah, that's Ali Dawah level stupid right there.
Here's Joel, chapter 3, verse 4, just to read it in the KJV because they brought up the KJV. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? So here's the issue, right? Because if you want to say that it's Palestine in this case, you'd have to actually look at what the Hebrew says, right?
Mhm.
Because all the other
Mhm.
translations are going to have something quite distinct and different.
Mhm.
KJV is going based off of the Latin translations, the Latin translations of what the Greek would have been. And guess what? They would have gone based off of the way that the Romans would have named the area, which would have been something in Latin and therefore would have been using the term Palestine. So if you're going to go to the KJV, because don't think that I didn't notice that you chose that one translation.
Pretty dumb.
Right? But of course, you would go to the KJV that's looking at the Latin translations, those later Latin scripts. And so again,
yeah, that's not
if
the
you're going to
that's
look
not
at-
the Torah, right? That's like saying, oh, here's an English translation, therefore that's a later word from a translation. My goodness. This is the defense of the position that these guys hold. It's like everything is TikTok level idiotic nonsense.
So here, let's do one of their things.
Yeah.
So what would Jesus have called the area? Huh? What would
He would
Jesus have called it?
He would call it Palestine, and he would say,
Right.
from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Yep. It wouldn't be Judea at all. No, never Judea. Let's see what else Ali Dawah has on this here.
Is this some kind of cult?
Exactly.
They've all been indoctrinated.
Because the thing is this, how could not a single Zionist come and say to me, you know what? I
really
disagree with what
sorry.
Israel is doing. Not a single, I have not come.
How can they
If you would have someone do that, then you would not classify them as a Zionist. Plain and simple.
not feel bad about this? These
Exactly.
babies are dying every day. How can they not feel bad?
Exactly. They don't.
How can they justify
They
this?
don't. This
No,
is
they don't,
this is what
because
shocks me.
It's a supremacy. It's a cult. I've
Yeah.
realised they've
Yes.
been indoctrinated.
Yes.
I've seen the young ones in America saying,
Yes.
we've been indoctrinated our
Yes.
whole lives.
And this is
our
a charity.
synagogues, our schools, our families.
Do you know this
and
charity? This
lives
charity
goes
deals
on.
with Jewish boys who've gone astray, drugs, etc. Now you're bringing a war criminal. You want to take them off drugs and share them as
tell them all to sign up for the IDF.
Exactly. Now it's going to go for.
Again, an accusation that is unfounded.
Yeah, again, what he's saying. So this whole thing is based on the idea that the guy's a war criminal for digging through drawers looking for weapons. And then he points out as he's digging through the drawers, hey guys, these people say it's an open air prison. Doesn't kind of look like that. It looks a little freaky over here. And wait a minute. Notice this is Ali Dawah. This is the same guy whose partner in crime, Mohammed Hijab. Oh, your daughter says, what about her sex shop and dildos and blah 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 and the vibrators? I think you've got one of his vibrators in your daughter's butt. I bet she could take two guys 2-on-1. That's all perfectly acceptable. No shame there. But if an IDF guy who's looking for weapons says, "Oh look, hey, check this out," that's a war crime. And Ali Dawah was mine. And it's the same thing with labeling anything you disagree with genocide. Now you're going to call everything you don't like war crime. These guys are actual war crimes, and there's actual genocides. And you kind of diluting the meaning of the terms when you this guy's looking for weapons in a drawer. Oh, it's a war crime. It's a war crime looking through a drawer. Looking through a drawer is a war crime. Ali Dawah.
It was a war crime when Muhammad did that to get Aisha's nightie to wear it. So yeah, that would be that'd be a war crime.
We have a question here from the chat. What do you all four think of TikTok? If it's demonic or a CCP owned way of destroying the West's minds with stupidity. I would say
it could be both.
It could definitely be both. I said those are not exclusive. I am on TikTok. I am over there on that. I take a lot of the shorts I put on YouTube. I put over there on TikTok and some others that I get my hands on as well. I throw those up there as well. The only reason I'm there is because there's a heavy Muslim presence there on TikTok. And as someone who is trying to focus on them, I am going to where they are. But other than that, I would not ever touch TikTok in any way, shape, or form. It is literally dumbing the snot out of us. So, to answer that question. So again, this whole premise is built off of him being a war criminal for going through the IDF, for the IDF telling him to go through these houses of confirmed terrorists, find weapons, find bombs, and he's saying, hey, look, there's a lot of underwear here, and these terrorists aren't necessarily women.
Well, and he stood in front of a school and said, I'm tired of this place teaching terrorism. Soon they'll be teaching Hebrew instead. That is clearly a genocidal statement.
Absolutely. Just absolutely. Never learn another language unless it's Arabic. Then you're okay. Then you're very good if you learn Arabic.
Yeah.
Now you want to join an army which is going to be killing innocent people.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. My sister Ella,
humiliating the Palestinians every day of the week.
Yeah. But the whole world is woken up. They are losing that battle.
I'm telling you, I'm 57 years old and I've woken up.
Yes.
My husband's 60. We've all woken up.
Yeah.
We've realised this has been propaganda from day one.
Yes.
I'm not saying that Jewish people did not suffer.
From day one, you mean?
Well,
from the
something has
moment
been
that
propagated.
October 7th or
October 7th? Or do you want to go back to, the 600s where the Muslims invaded and captured? Because both of those don't look good for Ali Dawah. Just saying.
Yeah, I would suggest that was when the propaganda started, from day one. The first day that the demon squeezed Muhammad in the cave. That's when the propaganda started. We've woken up. We've realized that it's been propaganda from day one. Maybe not what she meant, but it's what she should have meant.
That's right. That's right. Because now she realizes that everybody should be illiterate. Everybody should say, I can't read. And that'd be good. That show that you're finally woke. There we go. That's what they mean by woke. Oh, I get it now. All right. I put the pieces together. There we go.
Of course they did.
But what about the Romans? We didn't say let's give them part of India. They came from India. Let's give them part of India and kick the
and
Indians
not only
out.
that, the Jews have been living with Palestinians and the Christians in Palestine for centuries.
I know. I've spoken to Rabbi Beck.
They have lived there for centuries.
The Muslims,
unlike Arabia, where when the Muslims showed up, Muhammad said we got to kick out all the Jews and the Christians.
Yeah. Or when the Muslims took over so many large portions of Africa, they definitely lived there peacefully without killing anybody or taking any slaves, sex slaves often. Muslims, they just always lived in perfect peace with everyone, everywhere they went, no matter what. Because as we know, Islam and the Arabs that used Islam and followed Islam, they all went to all the corners of the earth to spread peace, love, women's rights, freedom for slaves in order to capture them again so that they can be able to, get rid of a few sins, and slave trading, sex slavery, rape of random women, natives, since I know that's a big part of the discussion. People like to use that word a lot. Native women, children, sex slavery of children and raping children, calling Africans raisin heads in some cases, right? Just really empowering women's rights and minority rights. That's Islam. So that this woman's right on. Muslims have never, ever understood, what it's like to be an oppressor. They've only ever been oppressed. Only ever been oppressed.
Almost as if they haven't been made the uppermost.
Yes, I know Rabbi Beck. Yes,
to Rabbi Beck, and
yes, from something to do.
He says the same thing that lots of us are saying.
Yeah.
The world is unsafe because of the state of Israel.
Yes.
It's the state of Israel. That's why the world has been unsafe. After all, all these wars that have been started by Israel, such as World War I. Oh, wait, no. World War II. All the jihads that were... Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. Jews don't have a holy war, do they?
No, I don't think so.
Huh. Oops, forgot about that part.
I'll have to dash real quick because I have one more call before our meeting later. But as a little final comment before I dash, all the Muslims in the comment section, please, if you're going to watch this live stream, actually respond to the claims being made. That would be really, really impressive, right? I know it's difficult to stay on task. I know that in your religion, you're taught the Muslim shuffle, right? The Dawah two-step, where every time somebody brings up a topic you don't like, you change the topic immediately. I recommend, in order to make your religion look better, you actually try to stay on topic. Ask questions about things that are relevant, like, I don't know, the one video we've been watching this entire time. And if you have other questions, maybe try to keep those until the end when we're not focused on something very important, which is this brilliant academic lesson from Ali Dawah. So just a good lesson for all the Muslims in the chat. And if you're not able to do that, it just shows that you are all part of a clearly demonic pagan death cult. And so I would recommend you try not to make your religion look like that. Try to stay on topic, and that would be really, really cool.
So thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
See you later.
Yes, I'll see y'all later.
So yeah, we got to try to get through this rather swift. We do have something else coming up tonight. So let's go ahead and see what else Ali Dawah has. My wife has joined back in again. Welcome back, my dear wife.
More anti-Semitism because of the state of Israel.
Exactly. And not only that, Saladin Ayubi.
Okay, so it's more anti-Semitism because of Israel. Remind me, was Hitler before Israel or after Israel? I just want to know, because there seems to be something not quite historically accurate about what these guys are claiming.
Yeah, well, obviously, by existing, Israel makes people hate the existence of Israel. Therefore, it's its fault.
I guess so. I guess that makes it just as much logic as anything else at this point from Ali Dawah.
Specifically found 80 families, Jewish families, to come and live with them among the Muslims. We don't know this anti-Semitism is absolutely nonsense, because as Muslims, we have no problem with the Jews, to the Christians, or anyone for that matter. So Zionism is not Judaism.
We have no problem with the Jewish community.
Not at all. No problem with Jewish community. No, there's no part in our scriptures that talks about us wiping them all out. Definitely not in Sahih Muslim 23. No, Sahih Muslim 29:22. No, that wouldn't ever talk about finding and killing them behind trees and that sort of stuff. No, we wouldn't ever do anything like that. That would be hateful.
No,
this is because this is we need to finish it.
I've educated myself.
No, thank you. Sister Eli, I want to say thank you again.
Please do more. That's all I'm going to say. Just please do more.
As a Muslim community, I want to thank you. You're a Christian.
I just think everybody should be here. Yeah. I feel ashamed. I can't even go back to church now because I heard them say supporting Israel. I'm praying for Israel. And I thought, I can't go back to this church.
Oh, no. How dare they say they want to pray for Israel?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Christians in Nigeria are actually being genocided, and no one's interested in protesting that. So it's only when something involves Jews.
Yep, only when something involves Jews. That's it.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
Because there's right and there's wrong.
Exactly.
There's good and there's evil.
Thank you.
And these people are trying to say the Zionists are the children of the light. What kind of rubbish is this?
Exactly.
The Zionists are trying to curb freedom of speech. And
Yeah,
everything.
literally, you can't. I'll put
No.
labeled a.
Yes, they so totally curved freedom of speech, considering you were able to stand there and yell at random Jewish people that they were war criminals and harass them. That is completely
killers.
what limiting free speech is. Obviously.
Anti-Semite for coming in and asking valid questions. You know, that's what I'm going to be.
Valid questions. What valid question did you ask? Was it in between all the yelling?
Well, I mean,
I
I
might
guess,
have missed it.
yeah. Well, I guess they could have. So Ali Dawah never asked a valid question, but Dilly Hussain did try to ask him a question, and they declined to answer. That should have been the end, right? When someone says no comment, I don't want to talk. That's the end. If you're a professional reporter, or pretending to be a free press member, or whatever the nonsense he was suggesting, someone says they don't have a comment. That's the end of it. You asked your question. They don't want to say anything. End of story. You don't stand there for another 10 minutes screaming names at them for not answering your question.
Label that. So anything that you say is anti-Semitism. Anything that you say which is don't kill innocent people, ceasefire, you're
Look,
Hamas.
these are the same guys that if you complain about people getting killed in the name of Allah or executed for apostasy and so on, instantly go to Islamophobia. And say, oh, but no, they're calling us anti-Semites just because our religion tells us that we got to kill them all, yeah? What a joke.
Yep. Some real consistency there.
That's what I got. But it's not working.
And I even saw the policeman taking a close look to see if there was anything that he could.
Exactly. Do you see that? Look at the priorities. But Sister Ellen, thank you very much.
No,
It's a pleasure.
So there you're accusing the policemen, which obviously are still standing behind you at this point, kind of when this video clip was taken, of being some sort of tool by the Zionist organization who are just looking for any reason to arrest you. They weren't by any indication that looking for any reason, because there was plenty of reason. That was definitely a violation of law. So there's that. They could have. But nope.
In a nutshell, guys, we came here. Alleged walking. What's a walking? This guy. That's what it is for that matter. See the attitude they have consistently. You see this everywhere and anywhere. Consistently, these individuals do not condemn Israel. They support these people. An individual who doesn't condemn Israel, he's outright supporting the genocide that's happening. And alhamdulillah, we're here to do that. Just show their reality from London to New York to from Israel. That's all I have to say. May Allah bless you guys. Again, brothers and sisters, because of the stuff that we've seen, obviously we get passionate.
So his logic here, let's just assume he's correct. And some members of the IDF have done some wrong things. Let's even call them war crimes for the sake of argument. Anyone who does not condemn Israel because of the alleged actions, which probably don't even exist, of some individuals, is therefore in the same boat. They're basically a war criminal themselves. Therefore, by his logic, we all know that some Muslims have done horrendous acts, which would definitely, under international law, be considered war crimes. Anyone who does not condemn Islam as a whole because of the actions of individuals is, by Ali Dawah's logic, a war criminal themselves. So by Ali Dawah's logic, we are forced to condemn Islam.
Hey,
Absolutely.
I'm willing to say yes, I do condemn Islam. Not the Muslims, okay? Muslims, we love you. We want you to come to truth, to Christ. But Islam, yeah. No good.
Chloe coming up.
And to be clear,
with
I
the
do
good
condemn
comments.
it. I do condemn Islam, but not because some Muslims have been terrorists. I condemn Islam for what it teaches.
Yeah, it's not about the followers of a religion. If, they're following imperfectly, because humans follow things imperfectly. Everything. Humans screw everything up. We're great at it. But when we look at the religion, what does the religion actually teach? For example, with Christianity, we look at Christ and how he lived. But for Islam, the best you've got is Muhammad. And No good. No good.
Nope. So Chloe came up with a good point. In the name of Allah, or on the Kaaba of Mecca.
No.
Quran of. Sorry.
No.
Long day today.
No, she said the Karen of Mecca, which I thought was
Karen.
very funny.
Karen.
And she said Alon of I don't see the comment anymore, but she said Alon in the name of Alon.
There you go.
Oops, I put
Or
it
not.
up at the same time you did.
Oh, one person have control.
Yeah,
You don't
in the
need a
name of
stream
Allah.
ended early.
I see the fancy red button that looks pretty. Yeah, so this Alan thing, or Alan thing, David, do you know, is there something deeper to this, or is it just like another name that sounds like a lot? Because I know AP posts about like how Alan gave him COVID and stuff.
Yeah, I think AP just I think he just started that. And
Okay.
yeah, no idea.
So I got one
I just noticed everyone started calling Allah Alan.
Interesting. Yeah, new trend, I guess. So we have Arby's University, and I do have your video up here because why not? That goes back to another reference to the moon splitting video, which was funny. Let's see what you got there, bud.
Arby's University is not just a university. It's a university owned by Arby's. And we don't teach quantum physics or history. No. We teach important stuff. Stuff that you need to learn. Stuff that's going to affect your life. Like our roast beef sandwiches and our Wagyu burgers. Yes, we sell burgers now. A lot of people don't know that. So come on down to Arby's University and come learn with us about important topics like cashier at Arby's and making Arby's food. Arby's University.
So if you're not familiar with that, that was off of one of the comments that we had on the moon splitting video. It said, I think, graduated from KFC University, and this Christian questions over there took it to a whole nother level. Thank you very much for that, because those are fun. See, it's Chloe's fault. She did it.
Oh, Chloe
blame her.
No, say AP stole your idea. He's a plagiarist like Muhammad. Hey, Chloe, next thing you know, AP's going to be talking about making an awesome music video, 72 Space Virgins. It has to stop now, Chloe. Don't let anyone steal credit.
Someone else did say that it's been common in the UK to refer to Allah as Alan for decades. So
we're not
doing
some video requests at this point. We're actually wrapping up because we do need to get ready for something else tonight. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and share this video. Don't let Ali Dawah and them get away with making extremely false claims. Very obviously extremely false claims. And as always, I need to say thank you to our members here. As soon as I find it, here we go. A special thank you to our members on Buy Me a Coffee, that is Sherwin. On YouTube, we have Shiki Shiki, Solitary Emmy, Professor Yaffle, Reasoned Answers, Sir Dr. Whitemeat, J Mongoose, Learning to Live, Ex-Muslim Testimonies, Breakfast Gun, Jesus Loves You, Jeff Chapman, Sky Apologetics, Jack Ray, Sola Gracia, James is Tired, Dana Casson, Francis Bow. Thank you. If you would like to join them in contributing to this content, go ahead and click the join button. And also, don't forget to share this video and like it. Do not forget that Jesus Christ is the only way, the truth, and the life. There is no way into heaven except through the blood of the cross. This gift that is freely given to anyone who asks. We are all equal at the foot of the cross. May the Lord guide you and bless you in all that you do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.